Hello everybody and welcome to the black screen, because apparently it takes a little while to start talking to the Guild Wars 1 client. I'm feeling very nostalgic right now. Unbelievably nostalgic. I don't know, I've just been sitting here listening to this intro music roll by, checking out the Prophecies character select screen, which I was talking to some of you guys about last night. I think I've misremembered it, but you weren't sitting around the campfire. You clicked your characters though, right? And they did step forwards. In any case, I hope you guys are all doing good. Welcome to a new series. I kind of did this new series yesterday, but what I was originally calling part 1 ended up a 3-hour-long marathon in which... Oh, listen to that. We've just gone from the Prophecies music to the factions. I wonder if it will play Nightfall next. Oh my god, you get the badge on the character select as well, Reforged mode. I did a 3-hour-long marathon, 86 slides of info. Basically everything that they've done. The cliff notes are development has resumed for Guild Wars 1. There have been balance patches. There have plural. There's been a port to the Steam Deck. There is currently a port to mobile, Android and iOS going on. There is new content. There are 2 new heroes, 2 new dungeons, 10 new quests, I think. And I kind of went through all of that. But there's a couple of new little graphics tweaks, nothing too major, frankly. Plenty of new UI, though. And so this series... okay, and there are also 3 new modes through which you can play the game. Mode 1 is this red shield. It's called Reforged mode, and that's what injects the new content in the game. If you still want the purest Guild Wars experience, you play without Reforged mode on. In the future, they're going to invert this, where Reforged mode isn't a thing. There is no red shield. This is just for now while we're in beta. They're going to make it so that you opt into the purest experience, and they're going to call it veteran mode. But that's a little bit down the line. That's one mode. Another mode is called Melandru's Accord. Melandru's Accord basically is Iron Man. But it's a weird kind of Iron Man where, okay, so you can't trade, you can't sequence break, you can't do stuff like that, but, well, you can sequence break. I think you can run, right? You could skip to Drox and buy max level armor. There you go, we're in the Nightfall music now. But it's not pure Iron Man, which to me means no other players can help at all. I think we could party with people. And so this is going to be a Melandru playthrough. That's what we're going to be doing. And then a third mode is Doom's Covenant, which is permadeath. So we're going to try and do both. We're going to try and beat Prophecies by combining both of those 2 modes into what the community has termed Melandoom. So we'll see. But for part 1, what I want to really do is get to the new content, see the new content. And as far as I can make out, we've got a few choices. We could make a whole new pre-searing character and try to do it all on Melandoom, but I think that's a bit crazy. I just want to experience the stuff. I don't want to die in the middle of collecting one of the new heroes or something and then we go back. So for part 1 here and possibly part 2, I'm going to log in just to existing characters and we're going to see those dungeons. So let's get in. This is the Woodland Seeker. This is a character I've never actually Let's Played on before. I never did a Let's Play on pre-searing. Oh, there we go. The pre-music cuts in straight away. I think this does sometimes play in GW2, and unfortunately what that's done is dilute the nostalgia for me. But when you get the whole package, you're here at Ascalon City, you get the skill bar, you get the UI. Oh, it feels good. So, yeah, I've never really done an LP, and that's still on the cards, frankly. I still like the idea of doing that. But yeah, this is the Woodland Seeker, and if I click myself, you'll see I'm a Grandmaster Treasure Hunter. That's not really the title we care about. We are a legendary defender of Ascalon. We are a permanent pre-character. We're level 20. Instead of leaving around level 6, 7, 8 at a push, like most people do. I think my very first ever character, my first ever blind playthrough of this game, I got to level 8 on my Mesmer before moving on. We stayed. We got to level 20. I did not do this through death leveling. If I type /deaths, I have died 172 times. That's it. It says I've gained 0 XP since death, so apparently I died at some point and then just rage quit, I guess. Or failed, something that I was trying to do. So yeah, I didn't do this through death leveling. I did this after what in my mind is the modern patch, the recent patch, where they added pre-searing daily quests and so on. But of course that's not modern or new at all now, is it, everyone? I mean, Jesus, when did that come out? 2010, I want to guess. 2011, maybe, at a push. Could have been somewhere around there. But yeah, you'll notice I'm also in Spuds. We do have a Guild Wars 1 Spud branch. If you guys would like to get into it, send me a message on Discord. There's obviously no mailing system in GW1, so you can't, you know, contact me offline or anything. So really, Discord is the best way to get in, or try and catch me during one of these videos, which I am recording initially live. Hello to everyone who's made it live. There you go. Look, someone literally immediately asked. So how do I do this? I click, I go over here, I Control A, I Control C, I press G. We go to invites. Oh, 100 gold each invite. Forgot about that. Which I wouldn't really be stingy about, except we're in pre and I don't have access to the rest of my stuff. But there you go. So yeah, if you guys want to play. So I don't know how Melandru works. Can people in the live chat help me out? Can I play Melandru in a party with you guys? That seems so wrong. That seems like you could just carry me. I could just leech my way through it, surely. Doesn't that defeat the spirit of it? That doesn't seem right. Or can I only do it when it's Melandru and you are also only Melandru? Do we all have to be Melandru together? Do we all have to be Doom's Covenant together? And on that note, by the way, as you'll see, I'm going to reject this guy, but I've got him targeted so that now I can hit the plus and re-invite him. That's a little bit of new player friction, knowing to do that so that you're the party leader. That maybe 2 weeks. So throughout the series, you're going to hear me talking about 2 weeks. 2weeks.games, I think, is their full studio name. Who are 2 weeks? 2 weeks are a third-party studio that Arenanet have contracted for we don't know how long to reignite development for Guild Wars 1. They are made up of, I don't know whether entirely, I don't know whether even it's a majority, but they are made up of ex-GW1 devs. They are people who made Guild Wars 1, moved away from the studio, not necessarily just during the GW2 era, but, you know, naturally, because it's all been GW2 since. Gone off, done whatever, and now they've decided they want to come back, but they want to work on Guild Wars 1. They're doing it, they're at 2 weeks. So that's the idea. 2 weeks do have their own Discords. I joined it like 4 months ago when this all started kicking off. But I felt a bit weird because 2 weeks... I mean, I don't know. I'm gonna have to read about them, I guess. But they're not just a Guild Wars 1 studio. They do other stuff. They have other ambitions and projects and ideas. The vibe I originally got was that, you know, they probably have their own ideas, own things that they want to make, but they need funding. So by doing this, they get some money in the bank, while they also probably pursue their own creative ideas. So I don't know the exact situation, but when I went onto the Discord, I felt a bit weird. Like there were a lot of Guild Wars 2 fans. Sorry, just Guild Wars fans. There were a lot of fans there, and they were swarming them with, oh, will you do this? Will you do this? Will you do this? Which we all want to do, right? We all have our own little fan fiction ideas of what we want to see. And I don't know, I just felt like it was like, hold on, we're steamrolling people that might not even be in that place. So I don't know. Anyway, they got a Discord. I should probably have another look at it at some point. And yeah, I guess we'll just take it out by ear. We'll see what we got. I think I have all the quests done in pre on this character. I certainly have nothing in my quest log. So any quests that I find should be new. So Lieutenant Langmar has one over there. What I'll also point out is there's a new outpost in Pre-Searing up here in the Northlands. It's Pyken Square. Pre-Searing Pyken Square. So if you guys don't know, the Northlands itself... How do I draw in Guild Wars? Can I draw on the world map in Guild Wars 1? I can only draw on the mini-map, right? The Northlands is always classically, and when I say classically, I mean for 20 years, right? 21 years of this game. Sorry, 20 years of this 21-year game year of this game's history. However that's supposed to be phrased. This map clearly was like a bit work in progress-y feeling. I mean, to be fair, Prophecies just kind of felt that way to a large extent. In as much as some of these big distant areas here behind my cursor, I feel so much fucking nostalgia right now. It's unreal. Like across these bridges and things, they were clearly leading to places, but it was never implemented. So it just kind of left to some gates and some doors, and then it just sort of stopped. I remember, I have very fond memories of in the roll-up to Guild Wars 2. I went to the Northlands with a friend, and we just sort of sat around talking about things that we wanted for the sequel. And one of the things she really wanted was fishing. And we were like, by those bridges, like saying, oh yeah, it'd be so cool to be able to fish and stuff like this. And of course, you know, Guild Wars 2 does have fishing now, and it's weird to see how eventually we get it, but it's in the ways you never could have imagined, because it's completely packaged inside a totally different product that has a completely different like pace and vibe, and yeah, it's pretty crazy. Anyway, so this has always felt a bit big and open and weird, like Arenanet had more ideas. And now that 2 weeks of developing things, those ideas have started to happen. I think you start the new dungeon from up there. I think they've added enemies up there. Oh shit, I've just realized though. Is there a Shrine of Accoutrement here? Can I toggle into Reforged? Oh, there is. Okay, excellent. We can only access the Reforged content when we're in Reforged mode. And the fact that I can toggle in and out at will makes it seem totally arbitrary to me, but whatever. And also, Pike Square is here. That little square there, that is it. But it was always just a part of the explorable map. You would just wander through it. It wasn't until post-searing it got special designation as its own outpost with its own little networking and its own, you know, fast travel point. So I guess we're just going to walk there and see if there's a portal. I don't know. Reforged mode, and it's apparently described as alpha here, but it is a beta, I promise. The fact that they're still calling Doom's Covenant and Melanju's Accord betas too makes me wonder what bars these need to hit to become full. But there you go. You've activated Reforged mode for this character. You may return at any time. And now when I click myself, we have the red shield. So yeah, we'll head on out there. We'll see what we've got. We will try the dungeon, and then we will do... There's like a post-searing edition of it as well. I don't know what else there is to explore in the Northlands. I mean, if you guys want to party with me and play with me, you're more than welcome to. I guess I'll wait here for a second. I'm in Europe English District 1. My understanding is that America is really the place to be. At least during all the years that the game was not being developed, everyone kind of went to America. So that's what I'm going to do here. If you guys want to party with me, yeah, America English District 2 I'm at the moment. I'm a little disappointed to see it's only 2 districts, because it was always around 2 districts. I think a lot of people will look at this and say, oh my god, look at how populated. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Okay, to piss on your bonfire a little bit. Pre never died. It's one of those weird things where you expect that Pre probably died because the game is designed to push you out of Pre. The majority of the game is elsewhere, right? But Pre was always active. Pre always had people that had this strange fixation with it and who stuck around. And it was always bustling around 2 districts. I mean, if you got there in the dead of night in the right time zone, maybe. But my experience of always touching base with this game and coming back, you know, Pre was there. So I did find it funny when Reforged launched and everyone was like, look at all the people in Pre. And they attributed it entirely to the Steam Deck release, or entirely to the controller support. Oh, here we go. Okay, so reject, invite, reject, invite. But I do suppose maybe someone in here is on mobile. Should we ask in chat? Is anyone in here on mobile right now? My temptation to just type R in there was very high. Oh god, I'm gonna choke. And Pre has always been such a huge inspiration to me. The fact that people stick here and love it, I think it's because the gameplay in Pre is really good. Because I think Guild Wars 1 actually works very good at a small scale. Better than it does at the 8-man scale. Certainly better than the 12-man scale. But even 6. I think it feels really, really good here. And it's entirely soloable, which is something that Arenanet recognized was great when they moved on to Guild Wars 2. But I've always liked this. You know, my little fan-fiction-y, headcanon-y fan game. I have like a direct equivalent of Pre, really. The setting isn't the same. It's not a medieval setting. But to me, it's just like people would love to stick there. All right, cool. Someone said, is it active already? Yeah, in some regions. I guess we would need some Canadians. We got any Canadians around that want to play with us on mobile? You should get a little icon showing that you're on mobile. Oh, or maybe not, because then people would say, fuck that, I'm not doing Frost Mortars with a mobile player. Steam Deck as well, I suppose, right? Someone whispered me saying, surely people are. Yeah, so Guild Wars 1 was in such like an undeveloped place that for years my streams from probably what, 2014 to 2020, my notification if people subbed and stuff like that. Speaking of which, we have some new members here. Alodis, thank you, dude. Anve, it's good to see you. Yeah, both Alodis and Anve are at 20 months. And a shopping shoe with a donation. Thank you, dude. €5.99. Thank you, dude. A little fuel for the series. Quick sidebar. I shouldn't go into this sidebar. I'm going to do it. You know Euros, right? That they have that little icon there. The actual Euro icon or the dollar icon or the pound icon. I was learning, because of my whole little coin fanaticism, I was learning about that last night. Okay? Let me ask you something, guys. Look in chat. The text is really small, but it's what I got, right? Do you guys know what... Oh, you can't print a UK pound sign in the Guild Wars 1 chat? Oh my god, never mind, I'm not doing the rant. I was going to teach you all about it. I was going to teach you about Greek Libra and the fact that it's just an L. And I was going to teach you about why pence were marked by D but pre-decimalization. And there's that famous puzzle in Tomb Raider 3 where you're at one of the closed down tube stations and there's a big D there. And it means put the penny in, but no one would know that, especially abroad. All right, somebody just zoned us out. Somebody said, screw this, WP, let's go. Oh, I feel bad. I haven't really looked at chat. Hello to everybody who's there in the live chat. Welcome, welcome. It's good to see you all. Oh, Arenatet's here. Arenatet's been streaming this relentlessly. Arenatet was very, very big on the game, even pre the Reforged announcement last year with the 20th anniversary, which I was a bit disappointed by. She did a big project there, which I was barely around for and barely saw. I've got to be honest. I'm really sorry about that. But yeah, we now have a lot of new things to play, so we'll see. So yeah, first we will just find the new content. Now, hold on, though, I don't have a quest yet. Hold on. And also, let's not load out just yet. My god, we got a lot of pets. Are we all rangers? We have 2 rangers. We have 3 rangers. Okay, so not only is there a new quest, there's another thing. If you caught my previous video, my 3-hour-long bonanza, you will have seen it. There is a French guy somewhere in town now. And we're trying to find him, looking for the... Here you go, Gilderoy Lafleur. So there's actually a stylist for pre-searing now, too. I don't know what the hardcore perma-pre players felt about this. On the one hand, you get more customization. On the other hand, it does kind of change the vibe of pre. Greetings, beautiful creature. I must say you're stunning. Still, there is always room for improvement, no? Should we give him a French accent? Beauty is ever... No, I can't do it. We'll get boots. What did you agree? I'm Gilderoy Lafleur. Lafleur Enterprises and Oddities. I offer a unique service. The complete and utter transformation of, well, you. Have you ever wished to be someone else? Become something new? I can manifest that dream, naturally. Exactement. You know, my theory was that Mont, M-E-T, for the French was like L-Y, right? Like when Poirot says exactement, he means exactly. But accoutrement, that doesn't mean accoutrely, clothesly, does it? I don't know. Naturally, I cannot make... I'll give you the good accent. Ready? Naturally, I cannot make such good on such an offer for nothing. A man must make a living, especially one such as myself, with a taste for the finer things, and in possession of powerful magic. Should you like to partake of my services, I will only accept as payment the otherworldly currency known as makeover credits and extreme makeover credits. Oh, wow. Yeah, so this is a microtransaction thing. What kind of changes are you offering? I'm scared I'm going to click this and it's going to kick me out of the client. Oh, no, we get some special UI. There you go. So this is basically the in-game character creator again. I'm not going to mess with this. I remember being so thrilled by these hairs. I remember being like, whoa, look at how light you can make the hair. And then you look at like the Silvari choices in the sequel, where you can be a banana or you can be... Oh, that was really weird. Did you see as I scrolled really fast, it was loading the asset in and it was my full model T-posing. We might get it here again. No. I went max slider, of course. And this will require makeover credits, which I don't have any, sorry. But I will encourage... anyone and everyone to spend cash on this game. So there's a bit of a theory that when they did the huge sale at the 20th anniversary, they saw they could make money, so then therefore they decided to go with the whole Reforged thing. I think it's very likely the Reforged thing was in place long before. I think it all started with that original escalation of SCW from 10% time to 80% time on Guild Wars 1. And I think that's brilliant, you know. I think they were probably, you know, because there's a long delay with this stuff. You can't just click your fingers and go, and all of a sudden everything, you know, is running. But look at that. All the red shields just kind of show. Okay, and you've got some people here with other shields. The grey shield is permadeath. So this guy's level 10 in pre, he's never died, and he's never traded with another player or anything, because he's got a green shield. So if I tried to trade with him, what happens? Farron cannot trade with you, because Farron has taken Melandru's Accord. Wow. I wonder if he's getting a notification that I'm trying. Probably not, right? So there you go, that's one guy. And that explains why there's a char here? No, that's... Do you get tonics? Can you trade in tonic for birthday vouchers stuff? Why is Pie Official here? I think that's just an everlasting tonic from the birthdays, probably. Yeah, exploding arrows, dual shot, absolutely. Yeah. I also have retribution. Whenever I take attack damage, it reflects a tiny bit. I don't really know why I went with that. We clearly don't have any smiting prayers. There you go, 6 damage. I have a Horizon of Healing, and let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Very Guild Wars 2 coded there. Having your self-heal on the 6. I was thinking more, guys. We were talking in the last part about all the different new accords and covenants that they could add for the different gods. And I was thinking another one that might be fitting for maybe Dwayne, because it's kind of on theme. It's kind of the inverse of Dwayne. It's kind of the antonym of Dwayne. So maybe Grenth. But I was thinking... you cannot be healed by other players. And that might not sound very interesting at first, but actually I think it is quite interesting for the buildcraft. It actually pushes you into a kind of a self-responsibility sort of world of buildcraft, which in the world of Guild Wars 1, where we all have secondary professions, it actually is kind of really interesting. You can't trust anyone else to heal you. You have to keep yourself topped up. I actually think that would be a genuinely interesting RPG experience. Maybe it's not enough on its own to be an entire accord. It's not transformative enough. So, you know, I'm not really suggesting it, but I think there's a piece of a puzzle there. It's a piece of the puzzle that I might have even put onto Melandru myself, were I so inclined. But yeah. Okay, I do not see... The only quest I see is Lieutenant Langmar, which is immediately actually ringing alarm bells. Was Langmar always here? Isn't Langmar a concoction of Eye of the North only? Am I wrong? Langmar is Ebon Vanguard, no? If she speaks to us when we click her, I'm going to be convinced. Look at her character. No, maybe she wasn't pre always. She looks pretty pre. We've heard reports that there are a number of Char champions up in the Northlands. Okay, this is the new quest. Because Char Champion wasn't really, you know, a title or a designation for the Char. If you've seen my previous LPs, I don't think you would see that. You'd see, like, Hierophants and stuff, but not Champions. And Champion feels very Guild Wars 2 illusory, right? Up in the Northlands, chances are that the Char are planning for something and have brought their finest warriors to be part of the team. So, by the way, guys, we can only have 4 people in the party, which is actually double what it used to be. It used to only be 2. We can have 4. If you guys want to do this with me, grab your characters, log in, play it, and we'll see. You know, if we do multiple runs of the dungeon, then we can swap the people that are with us. Oh, this is just the daily. Okay, she came out during Eye of the North. She was retroactively added. She was a part of the daily system for Eldoa. Okay, so the champions were Guild Wars 2 illusory, but it's just... Okay, so that was just the dailies. You can tell how long it's been since I've done that. So where the hell would we go for the dungeon? Do we just wing it and just see if Piken is available? I assumed the daily was from the town Koraya, but maybe not. Maybe it's here. Oh, this is the new tutorial quest. Aha! This came in like 3 days ago. Welcome to Guild Wars. This tutorial quest is designed to guide you as you learn the basics of the game. Okay, let's do it. We get the new UI here on the right. Getting started in Guild Wars. Speak with Sir Tidus when you're ready to proceed. And where is Sir Titus? He's outside. All right, let's go. WP, at the gate, you need to do the quest. It's in the Explorable. Ah. It's somewhere out in the Explorable? Oh, no. Sir Titus isn't in the Explorable. Sir Titus is standing by the gate to the long bridge. Sir Titus is the guy that actually gets you out of Pre, ultimately. Sorry to everyone at the party that's getting warped around. Have I done the Beyond the Wall quest? Presumably. I think, classic, the way that you used to get Eldoa, I don't know whether people are still sort of in the same camp with it, but you'd push yourself to like level 19, a little bit into level 19, collect and finish as many quests as possible, but not actually cash them in. And when you hit level 19, you do a big cash in, and that gets you through that final level. So you can skip the hardest grind, the final bit, by using your XP there, without having to, you know, fight the most maximum scale stuff. So here's Titus. We're mustering our forces now. The attack against the Char will begin tonight. Let me know if you're ready to go, but before you do that, make sure all your affairs are in order. Once we leave, there'll be no turning back. That's to leave Pre. I don't want to do that. I don't want to leave Pre. So the tutorial quest is trying to take me out of Pre. Oh, it is. Once you proceed to the front lines, you won't be able to come back. So is this the new quest? I don't think it is. What does it say here? There's still plenty to do here if you're inclined. You can complete all the quests you can find, improve your armor. I'm tempted to log into my other character, Baradin, and just see if the town cry is speaking to me straight away. Alright, screw it. Look, we know how to play anyway. That's something we can check when we're actually on Milan Doom anyway, on part 2. So don't worry about that. Alright, up we go. Let's go to the Northlands. Let's follow this guy, who is also on the... Okay, so Necro Para. We can't see their account names easily in Guild Wars 1, can we? And in fact, that's not exposed on any level. That's just an email, isn't it, in this one? He's on the triple right now. He's picking up a red iris flower. Aww. The memories. I always get most nostalgic standing right here, by the way, because I think this was the first place I came. I remember doing the Mesmer quest where you kill the bull with Conjure Phantasm. Yeah, so what pets has everyone got? We have a Moa, which they didn't name. We have a Hearty Stalker, which they didn't name. And I have a Stalker as well. I don't know what his evolution is. But I called him Chomper. Does anyone want to guess what Chomper is in reference to? Okay, Ben Wolfson does not have a quest for me. They updated this gate, by the way, not as a part of Reforged a couple of years ago, letting you solo get through. You're tougher than you look. Sorry, I didn't mean it like that. Well, Ben doesn't care. Oh, now he does. Weird. Whoa. Huh? Just because I moved? Thanks for pulling me out of that mess. Before I got ambushed, I was scoping out a foothold for our forces to push back against the Char. Most of the... What mess? Did we already skip a quest where we defend him or something here? Most of the Northlands are in ruin, but I spotted a structure that could serve our needs. Pyken Square used to be a bustling hub of commerce, and its walls are still standing after all this time. Prince Rurik asked Devonna to lead a contingent to retake Pyken. She could use the help of someone like you. Wow, look at this. So we're hearing about Rurik and Devonna straight away here. Okay. Let's take the fight to the Char. Let's go. He had bubbles above his head. Oh, did he? He was like doing casual chit-chat? That's fair. Oh, I have a... Okay, so when we're in Reforged, we have an active effect, it looks like. I seriously haven't touched this, guys, or played this. Your party gains extra gold and extra XP in explorable modes. In explorable areas. It's such a small amount. Do people really care about that? I mean, for the purposes of Pre, the XP's nice. And I guess for the purposes of... do we have anyone that's going to be frontlining? I'll put Retribution on them than myself. Right, let's see what we got here. So we'll do our prep. Dual shot. Oh, what bow have we got here? We have a flat bow. So I think it's got... Flat bow has a pretty big arc, right? This is the Nevermore bow. This I clearly got from /bonus. Used every advantage I could. Oh my god, they're getting destroyed. I guess we're all pretty strong. Do I have any other weapons on me? What's the state of my inventory? Oh, not good. Does anyone want a char bag? There's a char bag on the floor if anyone wants one. There's 2 char bags. Does anyone want a bigger inventory? I have a char salvage kit with 1 thing remaining. Here, let's put a short bow on at least. It does much less damage, but... Oh, and I have a mini harpy. Do I have a bunch of birthday presents in here? No? How does Guild Wars 1 handle birthday presents if your inventory was full? Does the fact my inventory was full mean I get nothing? Let's dye our coat red, I guess. Let's eat a cupcake. I have another mini. Oh, we have a summoning stone as well. Oh, yeah, you can't use it at level 20, of course. Some champagne poppers. And I dyed one of my bags silver. I did a Prophecy playthrough with Kerry 2 years ago. And I was so excited to show her that you could dye your bags and stuff. And she was not impressed. Ben was part of Beyond the Wall. You rescued him from near Piken and led him back here. Right, I remember, yeah. He has a quest out here in the Northlands where you escort him back. You actually can use him as an ally, and he's pretty powerful. He's pretty strong. And, yeah, I'm leaving the loot on the floor, guys. Okay, so that's quite cool. As far as the new content's concerned, what they did was they appended some new quests onto the back of vanilla ones. So it's like fully integrated. It feels like a natural extension of what was already there in the game, which is brilliant. I don't like it when new updates and stuff come in later that feel too siloed. They feel like it's clearly like, oh, this was done years later. And MMOs especially do that, you know, where the UI is all different and janky and all this suddenly... I mean, I know I just mentioned the voice acting thing back in pre like I wanted it, but... There's the square. Clear out the fiends and hold the line. Oh, shit. Devonna was with us this whole time. Can we click her? Will she speak? She says, I'm eager to see what you can do. Is Ben with us? No. But I do have someone called Vale. I'm not scared. You're scared. And Bok, which might be his pet. I would assume it's his pet. Oh, yeah. My pet is called Chomper. Oh, shit. Someone has a pet called Charlie. Nice little reference there. Chomper, it's a reference to... The Land Before Time 5. I think it was 5. Where they befriend a baby T-Rex. Which was just like the most exciting plot point to me. And it was called Chomper. Does anyone remember that? And then in the end they have to give it back. And they learn that, you know, the T-Rexes, while they hunt us, they're people too, basically. And it had this really cool thing where you could only get to the island at low tide because the water receded and it created this cool looking path, which actually is something that happens IRL. Devonna says, here comes the one called Slicer. This will be our final stand, soldiers. Man, Let's Play in Guild Wars 1 has such a distinct vibe for me. Also known as the rush to read the dialogue before the box disappears. You thought it was from Plants vs. Zombies? No, that's a good one as well, though. The Chomper plants, which are very strong. I still would like to do a PvZ LP, especially since Replanted came out a couple of months ago. And all the misers on Steam have put it down to mixed reviews. Screw you guys, it's a great game. And even the new... Oh, well, I haven't played it myself, but they're not reviewing it down based on it being buggy or anything. They're reviewing it down based on it not being different enough. But, I mean, come on, man. All right, Pike and Square is secure for now. We'll stay here and fortify this place against further attacks. You should all go tell Prince Rurik what we've achieved today. Good work, you fought valiantly. So yeah, this is Piken. Oh, there you go. Bok is not a pet. It's an actual guy. You take the lead, I'll cover our rear. All right, you happy with that, Devonna? She still says, I'll just see what you can do. Yeah, I'm not picking all this stuff up. Yeah, just to give you guys a sense of how big the Northlands are. Let's see if... So, the dev said they've added some new spawns, right? Oh, maybe actually... No, this will be the north exit to Piken, won't it? And I bet the dungeon's over there or something. I don't know, let's see. So I'm going to resign. If we all resign, we can return to Ascalon City, the last outpost we visited. Rurik will presumably be up here, yeah. So how much XP is that? That's 250 XP. Is that a lot? You can see my XP, right? I assume 140,000 is precisely level 20. I didn't go a lick over. I got the reward and that was it. Unfortunately, there's no, like, Guild Wars efficiency leaderboards here, so we can't see who has the most XP in Pre after all these years. It has been many years since humankind had a foothold beyond the Northern Wall. However, things have a way of changing. Just as soon as one decides, it'll always be the same. Oh, nice little meta reference to the state of the game. The Northlands are still dangerous, but Pike & Square transforms the way we can mobilize against the Char. I'll be deployed. Yeah, this is kind of major, actually. Like, it's a very strong aspect of the story that we're fucked. We've lost everything north of the wall. But here comes a quest that just gives us a place. But hey. It's not like it's a great foothold. I'll be deployed. You know, guys, this means that you now get Piken as an outpost. Pre, post, and GW2 with the waypoint there. I'll be deploying a vanguard contingent there. I suspect opportunists and travelers will find their way to Piken as well. You do well to stop by on your own adventures and see what becomes of the place. Yeah, last time I would have been doing a video talking about Piken was years ago. And yeah, Piken, because that's how I used to pronounce it. I used to pronounce it Tyria and Lysa and Pecan. It's only as all the voice acting came in and all the, you know, American interactions started happening that I started realizing that the authors were saying things very differently. Well met, young ranger. It's a glorious day to be alive, is it not? I know some might think of these as dark times with the Char threatening us from the north, but Ascalon is the greatest nation in fair Tyria. We shall never fail before the Char. Never! Oh, man. I'm even a little bit nostalgic for my own old LPs there. I remember running around all these NPCs and, you know, I'd get the quest and I'd run over and then I'd click them again. And I really felt like I was doing a service to the scene and the game. What do I look like? The Town Herald? I'm busy. I really, really felt it, you know? I was like, nobody plays this game. Nobody doing videos on it is focusing on the story. I want to read this out. I want this to I want to show people. And it was really weird reading that there again. Having done that all the way through factions and Nightfall and Either North and blah, 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 blah. Here's Kim's the Historian. I think he was probably a late addition as well. Here you can find... Don't you find his ghost in the Hall of Monuments in the Either North in Guild Wars 2? What was he? He's not the guy that wrote the movement of the world, is he? I don't think he is. Right, okay, so... Having finished that quest, we've got no quest. But now I can walk back to Piken and there'll be a portal, is that right? So we go back, we do the same little walk again? Let's go have a look, I guess. Dude stole Ritlock's sword. Joe Kim's the dev. Yeah, I'm going to assume a lot of these names are references to various people at the studio. Certainly. Back to the bandits here. I love the idea. So obviously the big conversation at the moment is like, what's Arenanet's next big project? They haven't announced the next mini X-Pack. Is that because they're gearing up for a Project Tyria? Are they gearing up for the next thing? And I love the idea of it. I know I keep saying, oh, it should be in a different world or whatever, but if it's not, I love the idea that it once more will feature this area of Ascalon. So we get it again in another time zone. That would just be amazing. Okay, someone's running up there already. Thank you. There you go. He says thanks for the help back there again. Yeah, we've come a long way. We've come a long way from the Northlands being an exclusive, scary area that you need to be in a party to get to because, you know, someone has to manipulate the lever, and the Char are really scary up here. And totally optional. None of the main story takes you here. To then, you don't need to be in a party. You can much more easily get to a high level to defend yourself up here. To even having an outpost out here now. I mean, Christ. So, I assume it's only available as the portal might only be there if all of us in the party have actually done the quest all at once. So hopefully everybody did do that quest just now. Hopefully. Also, I'm surprised how close Piken actually is to the entrance. I remember it being a much longer walk. In fact, have I just messed up the route? No, it's over here. It's also funny to see how similar this is pre and post searing. By the way, how's my pet doing? Is he actually attacking? He's on guard. I'm going to put him on aggressive. Which is not what you want to do in Guild Wars 1, to be honest. For anything that attacks in melee, anything that front lines, you're just asking to over aggro. So that counts for heroes and stuff as well. You're asking for costs to sprint all over the place and blow you up. If they're a caster, if they're like one of your E-Surge mesmers, putting it to aggressive is a good choice. Not without its risks. But if you're pretty comfortable that you're not in a hard mission, you know, if you're not at Tanakai Temple or something where it's a little bit trickier, having them on aggressive means that they do hit the big skills a bit earlier and you can breeze through a bit faster. And I've just remembered now, on a pet, you can't lock it to always aggressive, right? You actually have to hotkey it and send it to each thing. So there you go, Piken Square. Look at this. Pre-searing Piken Square. Oh my god. New map lore. And this was always the best lore to read. Oh my god, it's just occurred to me that I have a character on my account now called Baradin, who I should just park at the Baradin estate forevermore. In years past, Piken Square was a bustling market where farmers and merchants would come to hawk their wares. Now, its strong bones serve as the last human bastion beyond the northern wall. That, to me, feels like it could be the exact same info that you get in post. I don't know for sure. Is this what it's described as in post? Does anybody know? It's not. It makes them run ahead like idiots. Again, if they're melee, it does. It's a bad idea if they're melee. But if they are going to stay at, for want of a better phrase, 900 range. Well, we do have a better phrase. If they're going to stay in the area, in this circle, I think aggro is slightly shorter than your skill range. It's not bad, really. I do recommend it. For 90%, if you have a very, very, very meta strong like hero comp, and you're in 90% of the content in the game, it's very good. We're the Advanced Brigade, says Bok. Reinforcements will be here soon. The Char don't know we're here yet. So, one of the things that's really going on here, you might say, well, this is kind of odd. Why did they add Piken? Why have they added one dungeon? Basically, the guys at 2 weeks are learning the new tools. They're learning the tricks of, not the new tools, the old tools. They're finding their feet again, what it's like to dev for Guild Wars 1, fixing the tools up, hopefully, to make it easier for themselves, and sort of testing the waters. And the dream, and this is not confirmed anywhere, but the dream is that once they feel they've tested the waters, they might be able to start selling DLCs again. They formally marked the bonus mission pack as DLC. They formally marked Eye of the North even as a DLC. They can sell them on Steam. And it's like, okay, maybe a bonus mission pack 2 might be on the horizon. And yeah, we can keep dreaming bigger and bigger and bigger and eventually hope for an expansion or even a full-blown campaign. But, don't expect that anytime soon, I would say. And don't expect it if they're not earning money from the mobile release and all that shit. Let's just be real, right? Prince Rurik placed me in charge of holding the line here in Piken Square. Let me know if you need anything. And I like how he looked exasperated when we clicked him there. Just the once, though. So usually in this game, when you get an actual mechanism for clicking out of the dialogue, it's because eventually they're going to have a quest. We'll see. Usually. Not exclusively. I really drew the short end of the stick with this assignment. Oh, great. And now I've got a splinter from moving all these crates. Go deep into the Char territory, they said. Nice. Okay. He had 3 lines. Does that mean Bok has one? A third one that I didn't see? The Char don't know we're here yet? So these guys just got behind the fence. They creep behind. Okay, nice. So my understanding is this is all seated in the same place as there was before. So it's not like the map's actually expanded. You can't do cartography down here anyway. But there's not going to be anywhere extra on Fog or whatever. What else have we got? Devonna's here. Hello, Devonna. And I think she cheered. The chart are plotting something. Do you feel it too? I do. I feel the plot. I feel the plot and the need to go to a dungeon. So, people in the live chat, what I'm quite curious about, I'm already level 20, so I don't know. What is now the preferred strategy for Eldoa? Is it to do the daily quests, or is it to do this dungeon? My understanding is that the dungeon, like, scales, so you can actually find the most dangerous enemies in all of Guild War, in all of pre-searing here, right? Because... Can you find level 20 char in pre now? Surely that means that leveling's pretty good. I mean, could you find that through the daily quest, though? Maybe you can find that through the daily quests. And what about loot? Can you... I understand that golds were dropping for a while, and weren't inscriptions even dropping for a while, and have they removed those? What's my incentive, basically? This is going to be a repeatable dungeon. What's my incentive to do it over and over? Okay, in chat, in-game chat, I'm reading level 18 mobs in the dungeon. The dungeon is faster, but the quests are safer. Interesting. And so is it a situation where if I can get 3 friends, if we have multiple people, it's better to do the dungeon? But if I'm playing solo for the day, it's not... Oh, look, here you go. This guy has a rare. An axe. And it has a perfect fucking inscription. Energy +5. This was one of your drops. So... Are they going to take that away? It has a perfect fortitude handle as well. Are they going to take that away from you? And the bleeding mod is perfect. And it's an axe, which means that you actually... Well, Severari is the OG, really, isn't it? Of on a sword. Are you expecting them to take these away? You can get them at level 12, but much rarer. Gold items drop from the chest if everyone is level 16 plus. Okay, so because we have a 14 player, we won't necessarily see it. But that's fine. Don't worry. I guess it scales to the lowest person. Oh, we have a level 8 player as well. Yeah, I'm obviously not going to take your rare from you. Oh, shit. We're getting the birthday presents flowing in. Oh, God. Everlasting Dunkoro tonic. Okay. I'm Dunkoro. Are these usable in the open world in GW1? I don't even remember. All right, here's Adept Mulliny. What was it we were playing recently? Virtuous, who did the Oblivion remaster, were a French studio, right? This guy's got a deadly Cester of the neck. Oh my god, you have an Elf the Necromancer, also perfect. Rec 13. What's the rune situation in pre? You can get runes, right? Holy shit, dude. It's Death Magic Rec, but it's got Soul Reefing on it. That is nice. Of the Necromancer is like one of the best of the X from last year. Just because Soul Reaping is basically free energy management for you. At levels 10 plus, they add new mobs. Okay, so this was after the dungeon chest chain. Okay, so I'm just wrong. So you can get rares, you can get inscriptions in pre now, you can get inscribable weapons in pre, and they're fine with it. So if that's the case, what were they upset about with the drops? What was the problem with the drops that then they know? Because we read it in the patch notes. Does anyone want to fill me in? What build for Devonna do you have planned? It's funny to think she can do any role and have any skill. Yeah, we'll talk about that when we get her in a second. Yeah, there are a lot of people here. How many districts? There's only one district, but you know, it's nice to see all these players. Okay, let's grab the quest. Let's go out there. Double chest spawns? Past the first time? Oh, I see. The bug. The issue was that they had triple mods. They were old school weapons. Were they inscribable old schools? Is that what happened? So... There was for the diehard Guild Wars 1 players will know this trivia. A lot of you guys won't. Years ago, so just so that you guys know, like this is how storied the history is with this, right? After Eye of the North came out in 2008, they pretty much went full ass on Guild Wars 2. And if you look at the early announcements of Guild Wars 2's launch, they were aiming for like an 09 release, all right? I think if you read the original PC Gamer article, they were like aiming early, right? Of course, so Eye of the North came out, and they dropped Guild Wars 1 like a hot potato. They dropped it. And it was all Guild Wars 2 dev, right? And a year passed, and suddenly it was 09 already. And nothing was really... it was clear it was going to take them a long time. And as we know, it took them halfway through 2012, right? And I know that doesn't sound like much now, but that's another 3 years, okay? And that's 3 years to a largely young audience, right? They weren't all in their 30s. They weren't all slowed down, right? And it's 3 years back when consoles came out fast and sequels came out yearly. It was a wait, guys. I wouldn't blink at a 3-year wait. You know, if Project Tyria is about to get announced this year, when, you know, after the 3rd patch or whatever, and they say, hey, it's 3 years away, I wouldn't mind. I wouldn't blink at that at all. I really wouldn't, right? In the modern era, I don't think people blink at 3 years. And if you're young and have Zoomer brain, then you just have to tough it up, I guess. But back then, that was pretty rough. So then they formed the live team, right? And then we started seeing the hints for War in Crater. And then it slowly built and built and built and built and built. And then it got really elaborate and really good. And we saw that they did amazing stuff with Winds of Change. But it was the same sort of thing that we see. You know, history doesn't repeat, but it does rhyme or whatever. What you see 2 Weeks doing right now, refamiliarizing themselves with the tools and stuff, to a lesser extent actually already happened. It happened years ago as they were filling back out and the live team was figuring out how to do things and what they wanted to do. And as a part of that, okay, there was a patch that added a new mini dungeon called the Mausoleum. There was a mausoleum that was added that you enter near Rotscale. Rotscale was defending it, I think, in Majesty's Rest in Crater. And I think it was a Halloween patch, I think. And I don't know how many of you guys in chat remember this update, because, you know, if you were an OG GW1 player, you might not even have been playing Guild Wars 1 anymore at this point. It was kind of one of those weird interim patches. Anyway, the most notable thing about that was the devs fucked up the drops. They fucked up the drops because they put new content, they put like a new explorable thing into Prophecies, which is an old school dropping region, which means no inscribables. But the new stuff that they added there was inscribable. They made that mistake. And there are very rare triple modded weapons out there. They have been highly sought after in the economy. And then like the 15-year gap, right? Post Guild Wars 2, they're very rare and they go for huge amounts on the auction sites. And they basically were being fervently farmed from that Mausoleum patch. I remember playing the Mausoleum patch and knowing that there were really crazy drops coming from it, but not caring enough because Guild Wars 1 felt like a has-been sort of product and we were all only excited about Guild Wars 2 and blah, 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 blah. Only for them to spike, you know, countless arm braces to trade for them. So yeah, it's really funny. History is echoed here. In comes 2 weeks, years later, refamiliarizing themselves with the tools. They add a dungeon. And yeah, it's in pre, not Crater, but at the end of the day, it's couched within Prophecies, and boom, triple modded stuff was dropping again. It's the exact same thing. And I'd like to point out, they could have been warned about that by certain losers that stayed too close to this game and retained stupid information like that. Well, I'm speaking about myself here. I'm not trying to be insulting to everyone else. But yeah, it's funny to see that they made the same little mistake that I remember that Mausoleum patch making. I think, anyway. Someone in chat or the comments is going to say, by the way, this anecdote is slightly wrong in one little way. But that's my memory of it. And that's why I assume that they messed up. What's Project Tyria? Project Tyria is just a way I have always described the notion of a Guild Wars 3, basically. Or, because I don't know whether I believe in the name Guild Wars 3. It suggests a certain self-cannibalization. Guild Wars 3 suggests an improvement over 2, such that you shouldn't really want to play 2 anymore. It's the next iteration, the new iteration. And I don't know whether that's a healthy thing to do marketing-wise. I believe more in a game just called Tyria or something, right? Which is clearly the same franchise. So you're not starting from zero, right? You have the brand recognition. People will get it. But you don't self-cannibalize. But I do acknowledge, right, there is... I mean, their own marketing team will have to figure this out, or NCSoft or something. They'll have to figure out how it actually works. Because you do lose something not calling it Guild Wars 3. There's a huge cohort of people out there that if they saw an announcement, a little advert on Reddit saying Guild Wars 3, they would immediately know what it is and they'd be interested. But if they saw Tyria, they might have forgotten the name of the franchise, the name of the setting, right? They might have... So it is my proposal to not use the term Guild Wars 3 is risky in and of itself. So it's not really a hard and fast proposal. Anyway, look, that's not what we're here to talk about today. We're here to talk about Reforged. Let's get this. May I bend your ear for a moment? In my studies, I've come across evidence of ruins very near here. In fact, I believe Pyken Square... So we just read the patch notes yesterday. What happened? Pyken got added first and then the dungeon second? Is that right? Or did they both get added together? In fact, I believe Pyken Square may have been built atop an ancient settlement. Don't worry, I have more than a history lesson in mind. It's why I've come to this dangerous place. I mean to discover these ruins myself. Unfortunately, the Northlands are teeming with Char and other aggressors. Will you journey north of here and see if you can find an entrance to these green ruins? I like this. They're using the green lock text in there. Should you... I'm sure they're using that weird fancy symbol. And then a color code, probably like a capital G. And then they're doing the symbol again and then an exclamation mark. Should you find a way below ground, scout out the area and report your findings to me. Perhaps the thrill of discovery and historical advancement is not enough of a lure for you? Fear not, I shall make it worth your while. So we get a reward, an elemental crystal shard. Notably, this does not say Devonna unlocks. Okay, I'll see if I can find your ruins. Oh, maybe this is just finding the ruins. I didn't hear the noise there. Turn that up a little bit. I don't know how I want the sliders. Oh, here we go. Necropara says Pyken got added first, then the dungeon got added later. And the prereq quest to Pyken was added with the dungeon before you could enter it freely. Oh, I see. Interesting. Oh, that's good. I see why 2 weeks did that then. It's so that the classic feel of just being able to explore and wander around here is preserved, right? You opt in effectively by doing the quest. It's a 5-quest chain. Wow. All right. So let's get out here as Dunkoro. Let's see. Yeah, I can be Dunkoro out here. There we go. We are Dunkoro the Ranger. I'm not going to cast Retribution. I'm going to keep my energy. Sorry. Right. So where are you taking me? Oh, we don't actually have a formal starburst. Find a way into the underground tunnels. So do they deliberately not give us a starburst because the point is to discover it? I can't remember whether that was sort of something that they really did in Guild Wars 1, was it? Holy shit, that felt good. Oh, the big one shot. See, this is pretty cool, guys, because not only is it new content for pre, but it's actually the first time a dungeon, like a formal Eye of the North style dungeon, has been added outside of Eye of the North. Is that true? Maybe some weird... I mean, what do we count, like, the secret lair of the snowman? I guess it depends if they put the little UI on the map and stuff for me. I love the Ignite Arrows dual shot thing, because it's exactly what the Char do. What about Power Shot? Let's see how hard we can hit with a single Power Shot. I haven't really been using that. The colours on Power Shot look really rich and deep. That's very good looking. Oh yeah, isn't that something they did as well? They upped the contrast a bit. I'm assuming that the dungeon is over here, along these bridges. Of no star, this guy says. They did do it in the Crystal Desert of Prophecies. They had a quest with no star. Secret lair is just plain old. Yeah, the layout is definitely that of an Eye of the North dungeon. I don't think it really counts, because you enter it from a capital city. Maybe it does count. It kind of counts, doesn't it? Let's be real. So hold on, wasn't there a book we can get or something? So all of this here, I don't think there were Char roaming around here before. Certainly not over there with that res shrine all the way over there. Maybe we should be going up there, actually. Well, we can go up there, right? Don't we go all the way down and then up this bridge and then maybe it's all that road all the way along there? I wonder how they're handling the lore. Do you think... So they just said, oh, it's an ancient settlement and they're keeping it generic. I would have quite liked them to name it, you know? Give us a city name. Tell us if it's a Char settlement. Oh, do you know what would be quite a cool little story for them to go for? Back when Prophecies and Pre-Searing came out, it was not in the lore that the Char originally held Ascalon. That was not the lore. That lore was introduced either in Eye of the North or a little bit later to sort of give that extra bit of moral grayness or to round out the story as to why the Char had attacked, right? I think it hadn't been tangibly explained, hey, they used to live here. It was just more of an invasion motivated by the effigies and the Titan and all of that, right? So it wasn't originally here. It would be quite cool, therefore, to introduce a quest here now where we go into this ancient settlement and we realize, oh shit, these are Char ruins. Oh dear, they have a valid claim maybe or something, and we bury the info. I don't know. Or is it boring to talk about colonialism? Oh god. See, there's a problem with being on a short bow. We had to run right in. Oh. Oh. Painful. My little horizon of healing. Heal for 20 health. There we go. Heal for 23 health. Barely getting anything out of it. I'm assuming it's over here. I don't remember these packs being here. Hey, Ragrins says love from Ragrins. Thank you for the euros there. You donated yesterday as well. That's really kind of you. Thank you. They're getting experiences making dungeons at least. You're hoping 2 weeks is building up to some expertise for the next EOTN like DLC. Yeah, exactly. That's what I mentioned a second ago. Maybe I didn't explain it well enough. But that's what this kind of all is, right? Well, we don't know. We don't know what they're actually planning to do. But the vibe very much is, hey, let's remember how the tools work. And then let's see what we can do. My understanding of Guild Wars 1 is it's a simple enough, like, focused game that you don't need mountains of developers to be able to put meaningful stuff into it. You don't. Because they're not releasing a map that has to have events and meta events and specific rewards structured for those events and adventures and specific rewards for those adventures and side quests and, you know, all the different distinct parts of map comp and this and this and this and this and this and this. And by the way, there's fractals to keep an eye on and there's raids to keep an eye on. And, you know, they don't have to do all of that. You can have one team. And that's the sweet spot, really. It allows them to be, you know, limber. It means you don't get too many chefs in the kitchen. You can have one vision. You can have everyone on board with it. You don't need to have endless meetings with all these different people. And, you know, everyone can stay focused. You can be in that sweet spot that indies can hit. And keep it fun and keep it light and have a pace about you. That is the dream that I would hope for. And of course, it's very interesting when we consider all of those pros, and then you think about Project Tyria, right? That's the other thing. If they don't call it Guild Wars 3, they can reduce the scope without people getting too mad. You call it Guild Wars 3, and people will blindly say, oh, what? It doesn't have World versus World anymore? Bad game. Oh, it doesn't have PvP anymore? Bad game. Oh, it doesn't have dungeons, it doesn't have mounts, it doesn't have the wardrobe, it doesn't have dies. Bad game, bad game, bad game, bad game, bad game. And it's like they can't win. But you call it just something else. You just set a game. You create a AAA experience, a live service experience, right? a game as a service. You do all of those things. You have MMO elements in it. But because you didn't call it Guild Wars 3, you have still nonetheless shed the expectations. You know, maybe you don't use the word MMO to describe it. And if they've got any wits about them, they'll do a manifesto-style video making this stuff clear. And who knows, you know, maybe they get to refine the scope a bit too. And it means higher quality stuff for what they do want to make, you know? A vision of eternity? I mean, indeed, right? We were talking about, in our VOE LP, about all the ways in which it feels like they're being a bit meta. And yeah, even the name of the X-Pack feels... But to me, that was meta-referential to the idea of mini X-Packs, ironically enough. And then they went on and didn't actually announce any. This is interesting, right? I have not led us to any kind of dungeon just yet. Hey. Have we had any quest updates? No. Find a way into the underground tunnels. It's funny as well. Oh man, the click to move is not working. It's funny that I think we've got to go all the way north. Well, this guy seems to be leading us over here, so maybe we follow him just in case. I mean, there is a road here, and it is still taking us north. And there are... I'm sure there were no mobs around any of this. So you might wonder, by the way, why is all of this stuff here and it didn't have any mobs? Was it because they were going to add more pre-content? And I kind of suggested in my commentary a second ago that might be the case. But the truth probably is actually not that. See, what you should know is pre-searing was one of the last things they added. They actually added pre because feedback came in about the launch of the game being a bit too grim and a bit too miserable. The setting, because it started in post for a long time. Look, we're at the edge of the map, so you can see. So what they did when they made pre was they actually, the environment artists, they made pre after post, and what they did was they literally took the post equivalents of these maps and used those as a starting point. And then they painted the grass on, and they added the trees on, and so on and so on and so on. And that's why this is a huge map, because this is the layout in post. And what that meant was for most of these lower areas, things kind of work out. But for a lot of for the Northlands particularly, where they were much more hands-off, there just ended up being some big empty chunks, but it wasn't, you know, deemed that much of an issue. So that's my understanding of why there's all these big... It was a consequence of them coming back to make pre, rather than a consequence of them having loftier ambitions. And I find that very interesting, by the way, that pre was done last, because if you look at the structure of prophecies in terms of the quests and stuff, it feels like pre was done first because it's so fleshed out with content. There are so many quests, there's so much detail there compared to like everywhere else, even post. Post Ascalon. You know, everything post altogether probably does outweigh it. But, and you might think, it looks like that classic design thing of they made loads and then they had a deadline and it got thinner and thinner and thinner. But it wasn't that. I think, I mean, one of the stories is that, wasn't it Colin Johansson got hired quite late in the day and was just told to make 1 billion fucking quests? And he ended up putting a lot around here. I don't know how accurate a lot of these anecdotes are. Valen says, and then they'll betray the manifesto within their first expansion. Betray. I mean, yeah. I can't listen, guys. Once we've done these Reforged videos, I'm gonna cover the blog posts. Oh, or maybe I should cover the blog post and the manifesto. I think that would be so interesting. I'm gonna do it, and I don't think it'll be a live series either. I think it'll be classic WP style, pre-made videos. It would be so cool to basically pretend it's 2010 again, 2011, early 2012, and just sort of step through their press and every step of the way analyze how we think it went. I mean, I use the word analyze there. Like, look at this, guys. This is the Great Northern Wall mission that we're at. This place here, I'm sure this is the gatehouse that you step to the right and you see the Char army, right? Don't you pull a lever there and open that door? Maybe that's the entrance to the dungeon. I'm sure we're at the Great Northern Wall right now, right? This is the little square bit. You come over to the right, and then there's a cutscene over there looking at that precipice. Ah, now this is interesting. Wait, was this all just added? This might have just been added. This area of the map, was this just opened up by 2 weeks? Wasn't the gate shut? I think we just went into new content. Was this bridge broken? No, was the gate under this bridge broken? Oh, or shut? No, there's not a gate there. I don't know if this was available before. And by before, I mean like 6 months ago. Yeah, it was shut. It was shut. You're right. But what specific bit was shut? So, over in the Spud Discord, when this came in, people talked to me about this. This is quite interesting. Yeah, this was not available. We never had access, absolutely. And I'm going to go so far as to say they might have just added that dock. And if they just added the dock, it's a bit of a faux pas. So if you guys are really familiar with Guild Wars 1, you'll know this already, but for the benefit of those who aren't, right? Guild Wars 1, while the world map makes it all look contiguous and all connected, and maybe in the case of Pre, I actually think it genuinely is. But the truth is for a lot of it, especially in the later stuff they were making, each little explorable, they're kind of isolated little maps. And if you break out of them by, like, you know, climbing up a wall that you shouldn't, or more commonly by teleporting over the threshold of a teleportation, you know, line for the entrance to the exit to a map or something. If you do that and you break out, very often you'll be able to climb a cliff or something, and you'll see off in the distance just water. You'll see an ocean. It's not that there's an ocean there in lore, it's just how the game engine works, right? There's an ocean underneath everything. If you break out of the map, you'll fall in an ocean. And Guild Wars 2 is the same. If you fall under the map in Guild Wars 2, if you do like one of those mini jumps or whatever, which we talked about in the early days, there's an ocean there. And so when I look out at that is actually... that is not canon. There's not really water there. That's straight up Ascalon. There's no ocean there. And we know this from Post. There's no Great Lake. But I think what 2 weeks has done is they've opened up this region of the map. They've seen that it's the edge of the map. They've assumed that that's canon. And they might have added a dock there so that it wasn't like a harsh cut. I suspect that there might have been a harsh cut on the map terrain here. And they molded it a bit and made it look a bit better. And it's kind of wrong to do that. This should really be a cliff that you can't see over. I think. You think it just dried up? You think it just became oil? Okay, I like that. That's pretty good. I'm pretty sure this is the vista you look over and the Char army is waged out in there. So this is either kind of some weird... And anyway, I had some messages in Discord of people saying that they've done one patch and they've already messed with the canon. And I thought, that's just because you're seeing out of the boundaries of the map, isn't it? I don't know, though. I kind of like the idea that it's just a lake. If I remember rightly, looking across like this lake here also stretches as far as the horizon. Looking across this lake here stretches as far as the horizon. It's just the scale of GW1, and that's what we love about GW1, right? That it feels so big and massive and expansive. That's what we like. So actually, do you know what? I'm just going to say no. That's one of the lakes of Ascalon. Because it's big. And this ain't no Guild Wars 2 where everything's small. No, I'm fine with this. I saw people talking about this in Discord and I thought, oh dear. But actually, to play it myself, yeah, fuck it. The searing happens and this all dries up. And the Char put their army down there. The Char army needed to dry up the lake so it didn't get their fill wet. I wish I knew if this dock was here 6 months ago or not. Before 2 weeks started updating things. I wish I knew. Look at all the goddamn drops we got. It's so weird seeing all these drops in Pre. Is it higher because we're on a 4-man party? Is that how that works? Yeah, you see the cutscene and then you have to run, right? You have to sprint away. Okay, so now let me go to this gate. Is this the dungeon entrance? See, this is a signpost that would say something like, You know, there could be another map there. Or they could... This is obviously the other map. What is that? Shit, what's that called? The Pockmark Flats? Is that right? And obviously in GW2 you don't get this area. It's funny. This area you do, this area you don't. And the Black Citadel would be like over here. Okay, I thought that was going to be the dungeon. This is not the entrance yet, but it will be. Right. But hold on, my quest is find my way into the tunnels. So I need to hit a lever, maybe? Okay, hold on. Let's go across that bridge then. Let's go across the bridge and see where we end up, because I saw another group of enemies. Maybe there's a lever hidden on the far side, and then when you pull it, the gate opens. Maybe it's that. That's what I would guess. What Pre really needs is a secret horse. Actually, you know what? I think that's a cool idea, Master 64. If they're ever gonna... Well, okay, there's two ways they can do it. They can just do the horse thing they've always done, the meme. Where horses are there in lore, there are Necrid horsemen, there's horses in cutscenes and concept art, there's the invisible pony. Okay, no, what? Oh my god, we could have got there instantly. This has just looped us back. So maybe the lever's over here? Let's go across that bridge for a second. They could do two things. They could just keep the horses in lore, but never in engine, right? That's the little fun game that they play. In lore, but not in engine. They could just do that forevermore, and I'd be very satisfied with that, because that's kind of a hallmark of the franchise, really, isn't it? Or, if they're ever going to actually rip the plaster off, and they're going to say, no, we're actually doing it now, then a really fun, subtle way to do it, yeah, would be to add a horse somewhere hidden in GW1. And Pre is a good spot for it, I think. This is kind of just me. I don't know if you guys feel the same. But for me, when I think horses in GW1, it puts me to mind of like that epic fantasy Guild Wars vibe, you know, the actual Guild Wars, which is a pre-Searing vibe and before. It's like pre-Searing, 100 years before, you know, it's that era. It's the human nations, their cavalry riding against one another, you know, with their flags held high in the wind. It's that kind of vibe, you know? And it's not that they can't have horses in Guild Wars 1, you know, when it's the White Mantle having taken over in Kryta and stuff. It just feels... It feels like the world is sad in Guild Wars 1. You know, it feels like they've lost something. And for that reason... There we go, look at our range. I love it. It's like I don't know, it just feels like the armies have been decimated. Ascalon's fucked by the Char, and the Char don't use horses, is what's in my mind. Or has been fucked by the Cataclysm. Kryta is fucked by cultists. Oh, wow, we have the cool post-processing because we're getting near the Searing Cauldron. I forgot about that, or is that new? So it's just like there's no horses because these nations aren't at their pinnacle, you know? It's not the glory days of humans, and that to me is the horse age. I don't know. I guess I have that vibe because of the Necrid horsemen, right? They're undead, and ostensibly many of the undead came from Ur, and they were cavalry. I've probably been influenced in a weird way about that. I'm not going to go that way. Let's go across the bridge. And so, yeah, a Project Tyria set in that period. Can I just say as well, though, Char on horses is not bad. Mounted Char in general is fucking awesome. You know, and I say that even about Guild Wars 2, where you're a Char and you can ride on a raptor and stuff. Like, that's awesome. Char on horses feels like... You guys know the new Planet of the Apes movies? And they had the apes on horses. And it was like, whoa, that's cool. It's novel to me in exactly the same way. This is cool. I'm curious if we end up leveling up one of our friends here. Okay, guys, if I can't find the lever on the way to the entrance in a second, I'll ask you guys in the live chat for a tip. This is obviously quite different to my old playthroughs of GW1. I'm blind. I'm blind. I had literally no choice with the old shows because it was already stuff I'd already played. But now, here we are. This is actually... Isn't that weird? 15 years I've been doing this, guys. 15 years. And you have never seen me do blind GW1 content, as far as I remember. I mean, maybe with the anniversaries you did, but it doesn't really count. Do the anniversaries count? And now here we are. I have to be honest, I don't like hunting for needles in haystacks, and that is the very first quest they've given us. The horse age was the pinnacle of man. I don't have it anymore because the house burned down. That's right, I'm going to keep being grumpy about that, and I'm going to keep bitching about that. But the property I was living at a few months ago was in a very nice little village. And you would often see like teenage girls learning to ride horses, clip-clopping out the front of the house. And it was always really nice. That was some good countryside living there. This is not that was not the first time that I had been living in the countryside. It was my second big period in a countryside. But the other one, there wasn't the horse thing going on. All right, it's in the new area. We should show him. Okay, the new area, WP. Okay. So I like this. So Arenanet, I thought that they were just going to open that gate for some reason. I really thought in my mind's eye, I just imagined that that gate was where the dungeon was. But it's not. So let's follow our friends. Let's follow pre-Sparta. Pre-Sparta. There's water in that location in Guild Wars 2. That's funny. Yeah, it'd be funny if they took the water away and then they added it again in the sequel. There's a certain lake in Ascalon in the sequel that appeared in the very first trailer when they very first showed off underwater. There's a moment where the camera rushes forwards and it goes underwater and it's like, holy shit, underwater is in this game. That trailer was so good, man. It showed all the big stuff. And you sort of rush through the water and you can see some crates swimming around in there. And it is one of these pools. It's a pool of water very near Ascalon Catacombs, Guild Wars 2's entrance. It's very close. And when I first saw that trailer, I didn't think it was crate. I thought they were Naga, which is why I spent a ton of money on a Naga Mini, because I was hoping to dedicate it to the Hall of Monuments, and then I'd have this special Mini in the sequel that only 900 people would ever have. Of course, that's not how the Hall of Monuments ended up working, sadly. And of course, there's more than 900 Naga now. And I'd sold it anyway, to flipped it for a profit. I was way too stressed out. I'm not a big into investments. Oh, shit. It was really subtle. We just walked right past it. What? Wow. It was right here. So this is totally new. This is immediately more detailed than you'd expect. So this is 2 weeks handiwork. Actually updating a map. See, there's a fun thing about this as well that's interesting to me. In Guild Wars 2, they tend to not tweak and mess with the maps that much because I think it forces large re-downloads on people. They did it a bit during Season 1, but then they sort of stopped. But they've done it here. I guess because the assets are a lot lower poly, lower res. It's not actually that much to download. Wow. The colors are cool. Good job with making it feel echoey. Oh my god, do you think the audios, we're going to hear the new audio stuff? Or the new/old audio stuff? That really does feel like a cool little entrance. Oh, so there's going to be multiple entrances. You've got the cool jangling bones. The entrance doesn't even look like a classic portal. The Forsaken Tunnels. There you go. And it looks like the Depths of Tyria. I'm surprised they didn't just brand this as another chunk of the catacombs. So, I have to be honest, guys. People leaked this somehow. I think data mining or something. And I was shown it. Some people DM'd me it. I didn't talk about it in any videos. I don't even know if I talked about it in Discord. But I did have a very brief, maybe 30-second look at some screenshots someone had put on Reddit. And I sort of got the vibe from the Guild Wars 1 Tyria 3D tool. Like, I saw that this aqueduct was going to be under here. So I've kind of seen this floor a little bit, but not properly in engine. I've seen a few janky screenshots from someone who made a Reddit post. A long time before the dungeon actually came out, by the way. So what have we got here? We have level 6 Grawl. So these clearly aren't scaled. Investigate the tunnels. Do we have an ally with us? No. We have 4 pets. Holy shit. They got such low armor, so you can really... I don't need to use any skills. Do I have a quarter of a second marksmanship ability? No, I don't. I would spam those just for the speed of getting the arrow out. Which is basically an improvement in DPS. Which is the sort of thing when I used to play this game, even when I played a lot of this game, I never really cared about. Obviously, Ignite Arrows would let me AoE. The dungeon doesn't scale until you repeat it, and then it will be scaled after the first playthrough. And when we're actually in the dungeon. Okay. So we're going to have a little exploration. So your first travel through here is around level 6. Level 6 is very doable for a normal player. A normal... Like I mentioned at the start of this video... My very first Mesmer I took out of here at level 9. So I easily could have come here and seen this. Oh, that looks cool. It's not bad, eh? Not bad looking. I wonder how the modern devs felt making this. Was this fun? Or was this unbelievably tedious? And like, oh my god, we don't have that tool. We don't have this. We don't have this. We don't have this. Yeah, that feels a good one shot in a no-kart. Now he collects coins. I have my coin album, I have the coin flips, I have the plastic sheaths and everything, and I have all the change from my piggy bank that I could go and filter in, and I haven't done it. And the reason I haven't done it is because I kind of want to put a camera on it and do it as a WP2 video. I think it would be cool. It just feels like a big moment, you know, when I start the collection, when I first figure out what I've got and I put the coins in. It feels like a big moment that it's like, you know, if you ever want to talk about this now could be the time. So I don't know. I might shoot a video, which I will not upload. It will be secret and it will be in the bank. It won't be a face cam video. It won't be a non-anonymous video. I don't know whether I'm prepared for that just yet. Oh shit, we actually have traps and stuff here. So I'm dazed and crippled. That's already pretty novel. I don't remember anything in GW1 doing that as an environment effect. Dazed and crippled. Wait, did a rock fall on me? Or is it because I stepped onto this? It's because I stepped onto this stuff. The blue crystals have been nerfed, by the way. Oh my god, this is amazing. We're getting these details. The cripple used to never go away. Oh, that's cool, though, because that makes you bring Condi Cleanse. And then I know what you're saying, but there's no Condi Cleanse. Fine, add Condi Cleanse to pre. Why not, right? That would be fun. Add a key, add a lock, and a key. I feel like I interrupt myself mid-anecdote there. Yeah, I don't know. I might film it, like just, you know, like my old unboxing videos. And I'll hold on to it, and then if I genuinely do get into the hobby, then maybe eventually I can post it. And, you know, we can do it. That might be fun. And in the meantime, that would mean I get my shit set up to do, like, unboxing videos again, which I haven't had for years. I've moved, like, 4 times since that last thing, where I had that camera, jankily, the webcam hanging over the desk, and it was wobbly and stuff. You guys remember that? I have an amusing story about that. I did one of those shirtless ones. I've told Kerry about this, and she's forever laughed at it. And obviously, I had to be really careful because I do this all anonymous. I had to be careful about reflections. And one of the times I shot one of those videos, I got like one of the collector's edition like Nightfall discs out or something. I still, by the way, Kerry bought me the Prophecies collector's edition years ago, and I've still never opened it, waiting to do it on video. I've still never done it. And I would still like to do it. You know, maybe I'll refine myself, guys, over the coming days and weeks, and you'll see me pick all this shit up. But anyway, one of the times I was doing the Nightfall thing, I was doing it shirtless. It was boiling hot, and it was a really hot little room. And so I was doing it shirtless, which is weird. I could have been doing that with recent stuff, but I haven't, I promise. Don't worry, I'm not sitting here like a total slob all the time. But I was recording that shirtless. I didn't think anyone would see. I got to editing the footage, and I was like, oh, fuck, my reflection's in this disc. I have to be careful about that because people are going to be psychos and they're going to be like fucking freeze framing it and stuff. And it's not really anonymous at that point. So I was like, is my face in it? Is my eye in it? What am I looking at? And it never was, all right? But I was in it. My nipple was in it. My nipple was reflected. My hairy fucking nipple was in the disc. And I was like, oh, I can't do this. I re-recorded the whole thing so that my hairy nipple, a window to the hairy nip was not there. Yeah. Good times. I don't know if I told you guys about that at the time. But yeah, I'll have to be careful about that. I'm genuinely sitting here today thinking, I could do that, but make sure a hairy nipple doesn't appear reflected in one of these beautiful coins. Oh, unnatural seeds dropping. I always hoard those. There's a really good add-on for, or it might be native actually, for Toolbox. Oh, guys, I want to show you Toolbox. As we do Milan Doom, I'm gonna put Toolbox on and I'll show you the whole thing. Oh my god, this guy's got 7 minions. Nice. Toolbox will show you, hey, this is a Nicholas the Traveler drop, and when he's next gonna accept it. It will say, okay, Nick is gonna accept this, but it's in 50 weeks, so don't worry. Or it will say, Nick's gonna accept this next week. So hey, pick it up. You can get a fuck ton of echoes for this next week. And enchanted lodestones, it will show. Toolbox is very sophisticated. It is excellent. It's very cool. 2 weeks may have only just got to the game, but those guys on 2 weeks have been working on it for years. And, you know, like I posted a ticket for them with a feature request last year on GitHub, where what I wanted to be able to target enemies, and it shows, like just while I'm showing this shaman, I wanted an icon under the bar that shows, hey, he's weak to slashing damage. Or he's weak to fire damage, which I think Char are. Or when we targeted this Earth Elemental, it would say weak to blunt, you know? I think that would be so fun if you were going to play a warrior to know whether you're going to wield your axe or your sword or, you know, piercing damage on your daggers, or me as a ranger. That shit would be cool. And they kind of created the tool a little bit. But it was in a little floating window, which I didn't quite like. I don't know whether they've continued updating that or what. Yeah, this is cool. So this is not a reuse of an Eye of the North dungeon. This is totally fresh, right? So here's Ironheart. I think that is a recurring Oakheart boss, right? No, maybe not. Maybe that's just a designation. That guy was level 9. The only thing I kind of am a bit disappointed about with the dungeon... Well, no, I'm not disappointed. It's just, what I would say, right, is the beauty of Pre was realizing that they had made a good skill system, even solo play. Like, Guild Wars 1 was based on the idea of doing MTG, right? Magic the Gathering, but as a video game, as an MMO. And the outlook is, you know, your deck is all the skills across the entire 8-man party, right? It's 8 times 8 skills, and that's your deck, right? And so they really pushed co-op play. Co-op. But actually, what they didn't realize they had with Pre until the years later was, fuck, man, the solo play is really good, and it's really fun. And so then we come to this dungeon, and we're kind of not engaging with that again. It's co-op play. But I guess it's kind of a solo. You could solo this, right? So what am I talking about? What am I bitching about? You could solo this. And maybe something good co-op was exactly what Pre needed. There's already plenty of stuff to satisfy the solo or duo. So yeah, ignore me. I've been rambling so long, I don't know whether we have gone through multiple floors. That's cool. It really feels like we've come upon an old ruin, doesn't it? My character spoke. I said I can hear birdsong. There must be another way out nearby. I said it twice, weirdly. You can solo this with Devona, kind of. Ah, the lever's on the other side. Genius. Aha! But that's going to let the Char in. Even though there's clearly already evidence of them having been in there. And now it's going to be like a us versus Char type thing. Have Char found their way deeper in? And here we go. We're out. Okay, so the quest is not actually to go to Piken. It's to report to the guy. So the question is, where is the guy? It says he's in the Northlands somewhere, but again, I don't actually have a marker. You can totally solo it by using an SOS Devona writ. Yeah, it's so weird. Well, I will talk about Devona in a second. Are we close to getting Devona? I spoke twice because 2 people had the quest. Ah, interesting. But it never had each of our... It didn't say, like, Lady Gaiden, did it? It said my name twice. So maybe that's one of the little fringe quest scripting things that 2 weeks is wrestling with. That used to not open till rezone? Oh, right. The door is open immediately, right? Oh, you would be locked behind this? Okay, if you can be locked behind it, then he's definitely just at Piken. Okay, so we resign. So they've also made a little mistake here with the telegraphing. That it should be Piken written in green, not the Northlands written in green. Fogey said that they need to fix that. Yeah, okay. So we return to Outpost here. Ugh, I feel like an outsider. Like, there's been loads of dev comments and stuff that I've not been privy to. The thing is, I don't want to have to dig comments out of streams and stream comments. I really loathe that. And I know that's ironic saying that as a content creator. I loathe that when that happens in Guild Wars 2. I loathe it when it happens in Guild Wars 1. But there you go. Or rather, I would loathe it if it was happening in Guild Wars 1. So my calculations were correct. Incredible to think that these tunnels have been hidden beneath our noses for so long. The door you opened is just outside Piken's gate. I'm going to head to the tunnels myself and continue the investigation. Thanks for your help, fellow seeker of knowledge. I am a seeker. I'm a woodland seeker. I suspect there is much yet to uncover. So my inventory is full. So let's throw away the tune-worn belts. I get an elemental crystal shard. That's just some regular trash, isn't it? You love that this guy's level 30. There's a level 30 dude here? Really? Oh, Greywind is level 30. That's nice. That's a nice little touch. Most powerful character in Pre. At level 30, he's one of the most powerful characters in the entire game. Oh, and he has a quest for us now. Recent scouting reports indicate that the Char are using the tunnels beneath the Northlands to mobilize and consolidate their forces. What's more, those tunnels run right up against our northern wall. I don't know what the Char are planning, and I have no intention of waiting around to find out. If you were instrumental in securing Piken for us, can I ask your aid again in combating the Char threat? Mulinix, how do we actually say it? Went ahead to the tunnels, and he's been conducting his own reconnaissance. He can aid you in accessing the lower levels when the Char are holed up. Show them the Vanguard won't be outmaneuvered easily. Alright, leave the Char to me. Excellent. Do you say anything here? Be careful in the tunnels. It's hard to know how great the Char forces are or what they could be up to down there. I like the idea that they're putting a lot of sappers down there and they're going to try and blow their way in. Devona, are you not coming yet? The Char are plotting something. This still doesn't say Devona joins your party as a reward, which I assume it eventually will. Look, they do the icon. Nice. Look, full-blown EOTN dungeon icon there has been added. That is sick. It's the little things like that I like. That's very cool. Okay, is there a merchant at this outpost? That's weird. Every single outpost should really have a merchant, right? Even if it is pre. So real quick, since I anticipate us getting loot. So is this a repeatable quest? Char in the tunnels. Why do I feel like I recognize that as a quest name? Maybe I don't. Maybe I'm getting confused with destroyers in the tunnels, which might be the quest name for the start of EOTN. So they forgot to put a merchant, did they? Should I sell my elemental shard? Or should I hold it? Is this the only way to get one? What else should I do? I'll sell the deadly cester, the warhammer, though I'm kind of tempted to just use it. The monk divine symbol. That looks quite... That looks like I got that from a quest. That's got minus 20 HP on it. I'm going to hold on to that. The Grimcester doesn't look very interesting. There's a shield there. The Devourer Egg is a quest item, so maybe I didn't finish that quest. Air Staff, Fire Wand. I suppose all of these could be interesting for Devonna. Armor plus 10 versus Char. That's quite nice. 14 armor for absolutely 0 requirement. Char are the only thing that I think that actually threaten you. Probably. Let's sell that. Should I just dump my Char bags? These are pretty much valueless in pre, right? I'm pretty sure they are. Someone's going to scream at me here. I'm pretty sure that they're not really worth anything. I'll get rid of 2 and I'll hold another. I mean, look at how many I've got here. And what about the birthday presents? Do we care about Mini Abyssal? Miniature Dagnar Stone Pate? Griffin? I'm sure these are all worth nothing as well, right? Shard Wolf? Even in pre, they're probably worth nothing. Which, like, I get it. Siloed economy and all that. I wonder if they'll give you a way to get an equipment bag or a belt pouch. In fact, is that already a thing? No. A quest to establish trade routes and get an armorer interested in materials and pre would be very cool. You could get elite armor. That would be fun. That would be cool. Yeah, they could just add any old big money sink and it would be huge for the economy here. Speaking of the economy, I'm still very curious about stuff. So Ecto is now exploding in price, right? Ecto is worth 20 plat each. So what does that mean with, like, Nicholas the Traveller, for example? I know that's not really related to the current stuff we're doing, but if I... So, like, last year and the year before and the year before, if you came back to Guild Wars 1, if you were a new player, if you didn't know what you were doing, if you were just a lapsed player, the best thing to do was to do Nick sets for money. You could farm just a little bit, right? Get the Nick set for that week, and people would throw Ectos at you. You could get, like, I don't remember the exact numbers. Maybe, like, I think it was it like 5 Ectos? Was it 20 Ectos per Nick set or something? It was a lot of Ectos. Because the economy at that point, the game was full of them. Because of people botting and farming Underworld for years and years and years and years and years. And there weren't that many people making obsidian armor. So what's the situation now? Because Ectos have jumped in price. So can I stip... But, you know, people really wanted Nick sets because of, like, Red Rock Candy and stuff, right? As well as some good drops in there. So they always fetched a premium. It was the best, like, what do they call it? You know, money from the rich to the poor. It was the best way for the whales, who were fixated on Red Rock Candy and so on, to get that money back as someone with no wealth, right? You just do a little bit of farming, and it was excellent. But now that Ectos have spiked, does that mean that it's not a good way to equalize the economy anymore? Because people are stiffing you on Nick set prices? Because the thing is as well, there's still only so many Nick sets being generated. There's still only so many per account that people can get. There you go. Someone in the guild, Swordfish from Bone, says, last year I remember paying 25E for 5 Gifts of the Traveller. Exactly, that's what I remember it being as well. Right now it's gone down to 10. That sucks. It's gone down to 10, but you get so much more money per Ecto, right? If you're selling those Ecto, in terms of raw gold, it's like easily... So you can get like 100 platinum for just like half an hour of farming. Is that right at the moment? 10 Gifts of the Traveller. Each gets you 5 Ecto. The 5 Ecto is 100k. Is it really 100k for 5 Ecto right now? Is that right? It's 100k for 5 Ecto. Oh shit, yeah, I'm going the wrong way. Oh, the door is open. Okay, I see. Yeah, I hear the pinging. I see. I got it. Hey, I had another donation. $2. Thanks very much for the $2, Winding Twilight. Any chance we could get you on Tea Time? I don't know. I don't really do the podcasts. I'm not really, like, in the scene like that. So... No, I have no interest in doing it. You remember gifts being 13E? Yeah, I think 13E was pretty standard. Was a pretty consistent price for a long time. Over here, I have something for you, he says. So there's a full-blown red shrine here now. I don't remember that. Oh, we can trade. Ah, right. You might have noticed the sealed gate on your last excursion through these tunnels. I've seen the Char coming and going through that gate. They possess a key that will grant you access to the lower level, but it's safeguarded by Lieutenant. You need to dispatch the Char Lieutenant in order to reach the lower depths and figure out what the Char are plotting. Here, I also swiped the map from one of the less observant Char. This map will help you locate the gate and find your way into these tunnels. So he gave us this item and now he wants it back. But in exchange, we get a dungeon map. This is an interesting way for Arenanet to tutorialize dungeon systems for players that are not in either North yet. So it actually has uses remaining and everything. So here, we'll open the minimap. And when I double-click the dungeon map, we can see there's the exit, there's the way down. Oh no, that's another exit. There's the key, and there's the level 2. Interesting. Okay, and I'm going to keep that up there. I'm going to trust that people aren't dying, and I don't need to monitor the party window. Society of WP Radio Chat. I do read the chat, but you know, there's a balance between people who are here live and people who are watching the VOD. I don't want it to be entirely, you know, just a chat room. Char in the Catacombs is a quest where you investigate how the Char are sneaking in. Ah, so before it was Char in the Catacombs, and now it's Char in the Catacombs. I gotcha. All right, so what do we got? We've got, oh my god, we've got big elementals. Where are these from? These are usually in like Glint's lair, right? Ah, and they're dropping the crystal shards. I see. I see. So they've added new loot, basically. New trash drops that are coming. Oh, and that explains why these crystal things are here, because they're also traps. So the idea is you pick up the new trash drops, which you can trade with the collectors in here. For the dungeon maps. I wonder if there's any other collector. I doubt there's anyone else down here. Okay, so we have a bunch of level 8 Char here. So these guys are all scaled fairly low and fairly comfy for us. Because of the level 9 player, right? Are we already scaling? Maybe we're not scaling yet. Char carving there. Obviously, if that was a superior Char's carving, we'd be loving it. Because Mask of the Mosing. I sold out the live audience for the future historians. It's just, there's a weird thing. There's a weird balance at play here, right? Which is, and I mean, I feel it too, where the content can be 99% the same as it would have been otherwise, but because it gets produced live first, it somehow feels less satisfying to watch as in a playlist. I don't know. So I just try to be mindful of that. There's no scaling yet, not until after you get Divona. Okay. God, I can't wait. I can't wait. There's so many things I want to talk about. The implications of getting a hero in pre is mental. So not only do we get the extra range here, but I think you actually get a higher crit chance as well. Isn't that right? Is it a higher crit chance when you're attacking from up down? So look, as a ranger, guys, using marksmanship, we have an advantage. It's all downhill. So we always have the height advantage. I don't know. There might be some uphill sections. Okay, there is the dungeon boss. Level 14. Oof. Okay. So, if I remember rightly, in the patch notes, it said you can come here even when you're not in Reforged mode? Is that right? But you'll never be able to get into the next floor unless you're in... Which is weird that you'd be allowed to... If the whole idea of Reforged mode, or as it will later be Veteran mode, is to have the purest experience, where the old content is locked off, then why isn't this first floor locked off? This might be your favourite dungeon, really. There is a real novelty to being in a dungeon in pre. I can say how it'll probably wear off, right? Like, unless you're a big perma pre person. of course. And for those people, you've just got something amazing to play with. Oh, we killed the boss. I didn't even look. Did he have Frenzy? He died fast. So there we go. We get our morale boost. We get the dungeon key. I don't know why I'm focusing on dual shot so much when I'm not bothering to prepare. The thing is, right, power shot is weird. Power shot is not necessarily good because it's not plus 47 damage. It's a flat 47. So what that means is it doesn't bother with the armor calculations. So my regular attacks are doing huge hits at the moment because these guys are low level. They have low armor, right? But if I just power shot, I miss. Let's try that again, shall we? Oh, come on. God, I'm scared that I'm saying the wrong thing. It is, right? It's not plus 47. I think that's just going to do 47 flat, which is good when you hit max level and everything else is max level. And, you know, or especially if you're fighting warriors and stuff. Remember, hard mode doesn't actually fuck with their armor levels anymore. So there we go. Key goes in. They've used the old Eye of the North lock things, but that's fine. Oh my God, I never realized, but there's a face there. So it's good at that point. But if you're doing this sort of thing, it's not really a great skill. In fact, I should probably just take it off my bar. I don't know, unless this dungeon's going to lead us to level 20 stuff. And it's not that there's many other choices. I mean, point blank shot. Half range, but plus 18. If you have Melange's Accord, you will be limited on what the hero can use. Yeah, that is correct. So I'm on floor 2. Take out the char patrols. 3 remain. Is this the bit that people farm for XP? Is that right? Or do they go the whole way through? Look at that. We can hit that char, that grawl all the way over there. This is not even the longest, right? Is flat bow the longest range? Or is it long bow that's the longest range? Or it's recurve bow, isn't it? No? What is it? It's long, flat, short, recurve. Oh, here you go. This is what this guy's doing. He's got the Bane Signet for the knockdown if somebody gets in front of him. He's got the point blank. He's got Horizon of Healing, but he also hasn't put any points into healing. He's gone Troll Unguent, and his preparation is Read the Wind. Oh yeah, arrows moving twice as fast, and a +9. That's probably better. If you're going to do ignite arrows, you do dual shot. If you're going to do Read the Wind, well, no, I mean it's just good anyway, isn't it? I might just go Read the Wind. It's probably better. It's weird to come back to this game and be definitive about like statements about the build craft in pre and stuff. I never used to think along those lines. But now it kind of clearly is like, well, there's only so many skills. Aha. Now, I don't think I saw in the Reddit post the layout for this floor. So they're patrols, right? So we do actually have to be careful about... Oh my God. It's almost better to let everyone else aggro, because if I try, I'm going to miss. I'm a little bit nervous. Do you think if we start wiping this Necro Para guy, we'll just immediately log out? He'll just dip from the party, right? Because he doesn't want to die. He's Melandum. And he ain't going to risk giving that up. He got all the way up to level 14. I always feel weird in Guild Wars 1 when that moment happens there, where you retarget something else and there's just an odd lull in the combat. Suddenly there's no sound effects, there's no skills, there's no projectiles. And the reason I feel weird about that is because I'm so traumatized from back when the game first came out, where that nearly always meant you were disconnected, and obviously all the actors stopped doing things. I like that about Ignite Arrows, by the way. It actually places a little fiery AoE on the ground that can cleave things, even if the main arrow misses. I like that. Another enchanted lodestone, I guess. I don't know. No, these are just the regular ass drops that you would get anyway from stone elementals. It's a bunch of people lit fires. What's the ceiling look like? Just a big rock. Just a big old rock. Read the Wind is like Guild Wars 2 projectile speed. Yeah, actually it is, isn't it? Guild Wars 2, like, Guild Wars 1, yeah, no, Guild Wars 2 really, it looked at all the little moments like that and said, this is undesirable, this isn't fun. And I think I can understand a player being frustrated when their moves don't hit. But I don't think that all that feedback always needs to be actioned, right? Like, it's sort of like the blind condition as well. Guild Wars 1 blind is a very strong condition that means you miss everything. And people complained about it. So in Guild Wars 2, they made it just for the one impact. But I don't know if that's necessarily better. As long as there are ways around the Guild Wars 1 blind, like Condi Cleanse and stuff. I don't know. I kind of like actually thinking where the projectiles move, whether the enemy is standing still and stuff, you know? And I have a choice of what kind of bow I pick. The arc of the projectile matters, the distance away I am, the height. That's all fun shit that's just not there in the sequel. It's just not there. Of course, I might be wrong about all of this, and the real motivation wasn't player feedback. It was just they were trying to, like, standardize the projectile code or something. But that's clearly not what happened. Right, see, so here, right when they all go together to kiss, boom. My PC just did that thing again where it has these weird hiccups. I get the impression that pre-Sparte in the party is just like me, is someone who had Eldoa before these patches. Oh, look, they're fighting each other. Is there a deep story going on here in terms of, like, why glint monsters are in here? Because it's kind of a branded thing, really, isn't it? Is it suggestive of something about the Cauldron of Cataclysm? Oh, almost one shot, not quite. Stalkers. There are lots of mechanics you feel are annoying, but being annoyed just means they have impact that I prefer over feeling nothing. The thing with Guild Wars 1, I think, with annoying mechanics, like the blind thing, if we really want to have the discussion, it's more about how the buildcraft locks you in. Let's say you're 30 minutes into an instance, and now you've found a fight where there's loads of blind, right? Now, it's frustrating to act on that because you can't change your build while you're in the middle of the mission, right? And so it's a question of, okay, so are we asking players to read ahead? Are we saying that's just a victory for you next time you play through the game because you have that foresight? Are we saying it's an MMO, it's a social game, so this is a thing people can warn each other in chat and there's something to communicate about? Like, do we just accept that friction and see where it's positive elsewhere within the product? Or do we just say, no, this is bad? And let people change their builds everywhere, which is also what Guild Wars 2 did, right? I think for Guild Wars 2, they just very much, they prioritized, it was much less strategy. It was much more about speed, and it was about the moment-to-moment experience. And it was about the universal solutions, right? It's not, oh, this type of skill will deal with this type of hex, and this, you know, it was like, no, we're not even doing hexes. They're universal condis, right? And they can all be cleansed generically, and you get a dodge roll, and that will let you avoid everything, you know? It's just your skill of dodging. It was a very, very different philosophy for the entire thing. Oh, I love the assets over there with the cogs and stuff moving. The quest. So have we already got the key? No, one more patrol, and that's the patrol over there. Okay. This is actually more well-made than I thought. I was expecting just a couple of cavey rooms that looked a lot like the catacombs. But they don't look like the catacombs. And there's actually a good mix of assets and stuff down here. I mean, one nice thing for 2 weeks on this, at least. By the way, I think, did we... Ah, if we got a big hit while he was casting Heal Sick, that would have been awesome. They don't have to worry so much about people's PCs not being able to handle the updates, I guess. But then, on the other hand, they have just released it on mobile, so... The mobile initiative is quite interesting, because it's kind of... It's held them to the same standards the game used to be on. Oh, we're done. Are we fully done? Should we... What, wasn't there another way down? Yeah, I love these things. These are like Hyvy nest things. Usually only see these in the Maguma jungle, I think. Like in the distance around Drytop and stuff. Reuse everywhere. Yeah, that's another question, obviously. I just mentioned they can have a really small team with their updates and stuff, but will they... will they be able to make new assets, or is it always going to be reused all the time? They were very good in Winds of Change to be able to figure out what they could do. Quest 3 is floor for 3, and that's the next quest. Oh, okay. So you don't just do the dungeon, you do the dungeon over and over and over and over again. Do we have to do a quest for every floor? Or maybe not. Let's just see. Great work down there. You make those the Vanguard proud, soldier. I bet those Char are licking their wounds right now. They'll think twice before venturing close to our wall again. What's that? You overheard the Char speaking about an army? Tell me what you know. Okay. They're going to make new icons for the new minis. I mean, icon works, at least something. Oh, Devonna has the quest. Oh, Devonna joins your party. Devonna joins your party. All right, this is it. I thought we were going to get low down and find she was already down there or something. And she was going to say, you can help me. Do you know the name Maz Scourgeheart? Perhaps you've heard tell of him down in those tunnels. We did hear about him, actually, didn't we? Did I forget to read that dialogue? I have a mind to spare you, human, if only so you may watch in despair as Maz Scourgeheart and his army tear apart your pathetic wall. Interesting. A powerful Char Shaman, Maz Scourgeheart, is using his magic to assemble a legion of elementals. That's right, those crystal creatures you've seen prowling around are the shaman's creations. Aha! Maz is conducting his rituals deep underground in an old and I like the idea that there's some weird connection to Kralkatorrik being asleep in the homelands or something. And the Cauldron of Cataclysm, summoning crystals, and they have it at the moment, and yeah. Maz is conducting his rituals deep underground in an old military training ground beyond the ruined village. Soon he will have assembled an army great enough to hammer down our northern wall. Before that happens, I have a mind to do a little hammering of my own. However, I stand no chance against Maz and his army by myself. I need your help before it's too late. So interestingly, she is level 5 in the outpost. I think when you recruit her, she is also level 5. Oh wait, more dialogue, 1 second. She is also level 5, so... But this whole thing scales, right? While we stand around, Maz Scourgeheart grows quite stronger. Even now, the shaman's magic is assembling an army of dangerous elementals. Drain to protect us should they make it to the surface. I always take the time to read those extra little bits of dialogue because, like, no one reads those. Why would you? They never give you any real information. But the devs are, like, obligated to put it in there. Right, let's go. Down to level 3 we go. I've just realised I'm really, really hungry. I've eaten one thing today, guys. Does anyone want to guess what I've eaten? I'll give you a big hint straight away. It's a chocolate bar. But you have to guess the actual chocolate bar. If you guess the chocolate bar, I'll let you pick what class I do Melandum on. I'll throw you in on the running. So far, we had 2 people paying $20 each. For Necro or Ranger. What did I eat today, guys? Guild Wars Toolbox now has voice lines, which helps you keep up with story dialogue. Wait, do they have automated voice acting? Holy shit, can I do that for the Melandum run? Can we play Prophecies with all voice acting for all the side quests? Whoa, 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 whoa. Tell me more. When did that get added? That was not a thing when I was playing... That was so weird. I just looked at my party running and I felt like they were my heroes aggroing, but of course they're not. These are human beings. That wasn't a thing when I was playing last year. You need to pay for the full voice acting? I mean, I'll pay. How much? It's AI and it only reads the first line. How much do they want out of me? A Mars bar? No. Cadbury chocolate? Oh, that's too vague. You can't just say Cadbury chocolate. Cadbury's did loads of things. What did I was reading about Cadbury's the other day. What was it? Some old thing that Cadbury's made. Oh, yeah. It was the coins thing. I was reading about, like, half pennies. And there were some old people on Reddit going on about, oh, I used to be able to buy Freddos with half pennies. And then they turned them into full pennies and they just made it 2 for 1 so you can get 2 Freddos at once. It was something like that. And I was like, Freddos are that old? And it was like, yeah, Cadbury's made them way back when or whatever. No, it wasn't a Crunch. It wasn't a Whisper. It wasn't a Double Decker. You guys are all doing good, though. These are all big British chocolate bars. It wasn't a Kit Kat. It wasn't a Snickers. It was not a Twix. I do not love Twix. Get that Twix out of there. No Twix. Definitely not. Okay, Devonna says, we'll fight to protect Ascalon together. Aha, she is an ally, and she is level 5. That's a bit scary. That makes me like the big man in this. Could it have been... What did she say? Could it have been something? That was a very missable one. It wasn't printed in chat either. God, on the old LP, I had to scout ahead every video to make sure that I knew when Arenanet were going to do that. 2 weeks, please print all dialogue in chat. Thank you. It was not a boost, though I love boost. Or I used to love boost. I'm old now. Maybe I find it's really sweet. Oh, by the way, I had my eye check, guys. I had my eye check. And my eyes have got worse. He was telling me, can you read this? Can you read... First of all, he was mind blown because I'd gone like 10 years since an eye check. And I was like, here, I've got my report from the last time. And he was like, what the fuck? I have people who do eye tests like every 2 months. And they don't have their report. You've just held on to one for 10 years. The guy was clearly younger than me as well, which was weird. I'm starting to have a lot of weird moments where I'm like, oh, you're like a professional. You like have medical qualifications and you're like younger than me. Which was odd. He was probably looking at the card I gave him of my old test being like, I was a little boy when you had this done. It wasn't that long ago. It was from like 2013 or something. Come on, Guild Wars 2 was already out at that point. That's not that long ago. It was weird. Anyway, he was a nice guy. And he like showed me some text. And he was like, according to your old prescription, you can read this. And I was like, no, you got no chance. No chance at all. And it was all quite streamlined. You know, I had one person like flash a light in my eye. And they said, my eyes are healthy. There's no problem. I got to see the scans of my eyes, which was quite cool. Got to see all the veins and stuff back there. And then I just kind of did the test. And the test, he did a thing where I was retained. The main thing is I used to have like minus 0.25 myopia. Right? So I was slightly short-sighted. Just slightly. And one eye was slightly worse than the other. One eye was -5 and the other eye was minus 0.25. I think both my eyes now are -1. So I'm like doubly as myopic. But in the grand scheme of things, I can see basically fine. But for like driving and stuff and seeing license plates far away, yeah, I need glasses. And yeah, once he zeroed in and figured everything out, he showed me the original text again, what it will look like in my glasses, and it was clear. I'm really excited to get them. I'm going to get that HD effect again. I'm really excited. I had to get some new frames as well. So you know like the potato in all my thumbnails? He's got those like heavy, square, metal glasses on. Those are like my actual glasses that I've been wearing for the past 10 years. Those are my actual glasses. When I commissioned the art, I was like, yeah, may as well have the potato wear the glasses I wear. But I've sort of heard they're not very fashionable anymore. They're kind of a 2010s thing. I like them, but it's probably just because I'm used to them. I've been wearing them for so long. It's like you just get used to things, right? It's not... So I got their 2-for-1 offer. I paid like... I paid for anti-glare coating or something as well. All told, I paid £200 for the test, plus a glaucoma test, which was like another tenner or something. Oh, they just want to beeline through. They don't want to clear everything. That's fine. And then I got 2 pairs of glasses. So I got the tests. I got 2 pairs of glasses. And I got them... I got like... It's like buy one, get one free as long as you spend over a certain amount or whatever. I can't remember the brand names. You could get some pretty cheap glasses, though. You could get them for like 15 quid or something. I think I spent like 75, I think. On one, and it was like buy one, get one free. I can't remember how it all worked out in the end. And then the anti-glare cost a bit more. But yeah, I have 2 pairs now. Both of them are... They're not big, heavy, chunky metal and like that kind of very narrow thing. Because as fashionable as those other ones might have been, they're not fashionable now, I guess. I don't know. But also when you wear them, it limits your field of view, you know? You're always looking over them or looking under them. So I got some like bigger frames, taller frames. I think they're called Panto King or something? I don't know. And then, so the 2 types is one is kind of like a thicker black metal frame still, which looks fairly similar to what I used to wear. And the other one is blue. I have blue glasses, and the bottom of the rim, there's no actual frame on the bottom of the rim. I get quite strong, dark bags under my eyes, so not having a rim under there might look better. I don't know. I don't know, do I? But yeah, so I got 2 pairs. What I quite like, though, is they've got like a nice sort of like almost fabric-y texture on the frames with a nice bit of like holding friction halfway. And they flex quite nicely as well, so you can get them on and off easy. And I'm getting them like skull-shaped or something so that when you look down, they don't fall off. Yeah, whole thing was about an hour maybe. I recommend everyone to go get your eyes checked. It is cool when you realize your eyes aren't that great and then you know, they fix it. What about the chocolate? Well, you guys have got to guess. Kinder Bueno? No. Turkish Delight? No. And by the way, I hate Turkish Delight, or I used to. I'm opening to try it again, but Turkish Delight is awful. It's got that horrible, weird, alcohol-y aftertaste. You have to get your eyes checked, but since you moved to France, you have to go to specialists, and the closest one's 100 kilometers away. Holy fuck, dude. Wow. Yeah, I'm not going to go on a massive break again with it. I'm going to actually... Because I didn't realize that it would get that bad. And it hasn't got that bad. I mean, Jesus, 10 years. But I'm going to do it like every year or whatever they recommend. Next time they email me and say, oh, do you want to come down? I'll actually listen. I'll do it. Fair enough. And who knows, once they've demonstrated they're stable, which they should do through your 30s, they should stabilize. You know, I can maybe think about LASIK or... You know, I've never worn contacts either. I'm scared of contacts. Does anyone want to put my fears at rest about contacts? But I might try those. Contacts would be a way to go on those, like, hikes, you know, like... Like, one of the big things I want to do is, I don't know if you guys know the South Downs Way, but it's a 100-mile hike that goes to the Seven Sisters. Those beautiful, big, chalky cliffs that you see in all the movies and stuff. You actually walk there. It's amazing. But I don't, you know, there's that thing, I want to actually see it. I don't want to be wearing glasses. I mean, contacts kind of fix that, but I don't know. What's it like doing, you know, going out for a long period of time? You live in your contacts? You'd sleep in contacts if it wouldn't destroy your eyes? Truffle? No. Flake? No. My God, there's a lot of good chocolate bars here. Crunchy? No. Bounty? No. Lindt? No. Twirl? No. Topic? No. Oh my God, there's so many fucking brands. Why do I know all these brands? Imagine having to touch your eyeball every morning. Eat. I know, it creeps me out. It does. It makes me feel weird. Why would you want microplastics in your eyes? Listen, man. You're alive in the 2020s. You're full of microplastics anyway. All right? You are microplastic man already. You've got no choice. And look, I grew up microwaving ready meals in those fucking little plastic trays. I got microwaves everywhere. Microwaves? I have microwaves everywhere. Starbar, no. Lion, no. Picnic, no. Aero, no. Werther's Originals at your age. Oh, no. No, I don't buy Werther's Originals. All right. I have a very young, sunny disposition. Aero, no. You hate getting anything near your eyes. What's next on the health check? Last week was ears, now we have us. Exactly! Exactly. I'm actually going to book with the GP. I'm not even joking. I haven't been to the GP for ages. Like, ages. And I'm going to go and I'm going to say, why do I have no energy? Why am I tired? And they're going to do a blood test and they're going to tell me I'm vitamin D deficient. And I'm going to act like that's news to me. That's what's going to happen. But I'm going to do it. This year is the year of a clean bit of health, right? Getting them sorted. Nose, maybe? Are there high street people I can go to for my nose? Can I improve my smell? My sense of smell? Guys, if you could pay $1,000 to have a procedure done where you do actually have to go under. It's an actual surgery. They put you under, right? It costs $1,000, but once you have it done, you have the smell of a dog, right? Super smell. Would you do it? My little Dachshund can smell like he's got this ball he loves. It's made of like latex, right? And you can hide it anywhere in the house. You can hide it like deep in a wardrobe on a shelf, really high up at the top of a wardrobe behind loads of clothes. And he won't see where you've put it. And you'll see him like a day later, and he'll be walking around on his hind legs trying to climb up the wardrobe because he knows it's in there. He has amazing sense of smell. Would you guys do it? Absolutely not. No. Ooh, no, because then smelling gross things would be extra. Oh, yeah, that is a downside. Oh, that's true, yeah. Yeah, people would be smellier, wouldn't they? Can we wriggle out of that in any way? What if it's just the good smells? You know, they say a huge amount of taste is smell, right? So if you can smell the chocolate better, you can taste the chocolate better. People fart too much? The bad thing there, right, is it's not even about smelly, unhygienic people. It's about, and look, guys, let's be real. We're talking about MMOs here. We all know what the MMO conventions are like. It's not just that, right? It's like people who try, people who wear, you know, a little bit of aftershave or a bit of perfume or a bit of deodorant or a bit too much deodorant. That might end up smelling too strong. All right, what about not dog-like smell? What about just, like, improving your sense of smell? Just a bit. Would you do that? I think I would do that. I really do. I like the idea. What about, like, paying to have surgery to get better than 20/20 vision? I have a friend who got LASIK last year, and in one of his eyes, it ended up slightly better than 20/20. That's like paying for a superpower, guys. Isn't there that thing where, like, who are the like elite commando guys in the US, military guys? You know, the guys that, you know, went in and swatted Bin Laden or whatever it was. And they didn't swat him. They found him in a bunker, didn't they? Do you guys know what am I talking about? SEAL Team 6? Is that it? Those guys. Isn't there a thing where the guys that get in that are like naturally predisposed to having better vision? I haven't noticed. What have I not noticed? Oh, the Crystal Gate. Ooh. Oh, that was cool. Holy shit, is that new? I've never seen that in Guild Wars 1. Sorry, we started ranting about real life. Sorry, I'll be a better Guild Wars nerd. So that didn't open last time. That was very cool. So they scripted that. They had it slide into the floor. They put a little bit of, like, shininess there. Level 3. And here's Devonna. The air crackles with a strange magic. We're close now. Oh, I was hoping in the dialogue she'd talk about her friend Sin or something at some point. You have no sense of smell, so you might actually do that? Yeah, look, and what about people that actually have it as a disability? It's not a big disability in human society, but it is one. I saw a video the other day. Here's how it will actually help you. I saw a video of some girl that was like trying to clean her pool. I don't own a pool. I've never had a pool. I don't know what really it's about. But she had some chemicals in like a giant vat, right? And so the video starts and you're like watching in a security cam. And she's outside. It's sunny. She's got a dog with her. She's standing in her flip-flops or whatever. And she's got this pool. She's got like this big bucket. And the video starts and she goes over to this bucket of chemicals and she pours another chemical in it, some kind of pool cleaner. I don't know what. I don't know what she thinks she's mixing, but clearly the job is clean the pool. She empties it out and she turns around and starts fiddling with something on the floor. She's like folding up a towel or something after she's just poured these two chemicals together. And in the background, she's not standing near it anymore. You can see the dog is curious what she's done. The dog walks over to the barrel and like looks around for a second, and then you see the dog like physically convulse. You see this dog like you can't see anything going on, but the dog has clearly reacted to something, and then it shoots off. It runs away really fucking fast. It disappears, right? And then you just see this girl is messing with the towels, and she's just bent over. And she's just messing with the towels and nothing's happening. And still she's just messing with the towels and nothing's happening. And still she's just and then you see the chemicals are like frothing, and whatever's in there, it's all like flowing over. And all of a sudden there's a huge disaster. There's chemicals everywhere. It's flooding the whole place. She notices it. She's running over. There's steam coming out. And it's this big thing. And I think she basically made chlorine gas or something. I think people were saying in the comments. But the thing is that that's really interesting is that you know how the videos often then they'll replay, it just auto replays, and it replays and you see, oh yeah, just 5 seconds ago everything was peaceful and there was just a dog there, and you wonder to yourself, shit, was the dog okay? And this second loop you watch the dog on the video and you realize the dog was fine because the dog cottoned on ages ago. The dog realized something was wrong way before anything was, because it could smell. It's cool, you know. It's like it was like a little warning system. I don't know, man. I think I'd pay for that. I'd pay $1,000 for that. I don't know if I'd pay like 10 grand for it. But then we just get into the world of personal finance, don't we? Yeah, the dog is fine in the video. Trust me, the dog is like well out of there. Smarties, no. Bounty, no. Bourneville, no. Crunchy, no. Galaxy Chocolate, no. Aero, no. Chocolate Fingers, no. Double Decker, no. It's funny. You guys have made a lot of guesses, but no, it's none of those. I promise it's a fairly standard British chocolate bar. I could give you lots more hints, but I feel like it'd be a big giveaway if I gave any hints. Okay, I'll give you like a nice vague one. Could these have been ancient? What did Devonna just say? She said that could these have been ancient homes at the tunnels at the charcoal home? I'm sure she did. Oh, she's not printing. I'll give you a hint. And this is not a great hint, but I can't give you many that will, they won't give up pretty quick. There are different flavors of it. There are different flavors. And by the way, I fucking love this chocolate bar. I don't think over 15 years of video making I've ever actually told you that, but I'm telling it to you now. Freddo, no. Reese's, no, and that's very American. We don't really have that here. And when I try it, don't tell Carrie, because she's bought me Reese's several times before. I don't really like Reese's that much. Sorry. Oh, look at this. What's going on here? It's an effigy. And there's a skull on a brazier. Snakes wound around these things. I wish they had put a bit more post-processing with this. Gone a bit darker. Someone got it. Someone got it. Yes, guys. Mini eggs? No. Kit Kat? No. Fresh drunk, said club. It was. All I've had today is a club bar. And the variety I had was I had an orange club. They also do mint clubs. I had an orange club. That is all I've eaten. I'm hungry. Chocolate buttons. I love chocolate buttons. Yeah, it was a club bar. Club are very little. It's a good quality chocolate bar. And you can see why I'm hungry, because it's a small bar. That's like a half-sized bar. Yeah, well done. Okay, so fresh drunk. Do you want to suggest a class to play for the Let's Play? What are we going to play? Necro? Ranger? Let's see what he says. The mint ones are okay. Club is good, right? And I'll tell you why Club is good. Club is good for the exact same reason that Kit Kat is good. And it's the chocolate, like, on the side of the bar is, like, really thick and chunky. You can get a real good, like, slice of, like a good hunk of chocolate. Slice isn't a good word. You can get a good, thick hunk of chocolate. You can shear it with your teeth off of the side of the bar with a club. And you can do that on the left and the right, and it's really satisfying. Good bit of chocolate that with a nice give on it, right? And the wafery bit's not bad either. I want to go over there. This is a good layout. I see you've grown stronger, my friend. Let us see how something as I have. Oh, I see. The way she's talking is a bit like how heroes talk. And in fact, since she is a full-blown hero now, I'm guessing that is all generic dialogue unrelated to this quest that she will say to us if we take her to, you know, the realm of torment or whatever. It's weird. So hold on. Oh, I've got to test something, by the way. Oh, I can't test. Oh, I can test. Or I can just ask chat. Guys, if I take Devonna as a hero and then I recruit her as a party member as well, as a henchman, what is the henchman version called? Did they rename her? Because that's one of those weird little things that 2 weeks might not have thought to do. This is going to be good. Ready? We're going to get him. Yeah! Oh, he dodged the main hit, though. Oh, there we go. He's dead. Okay, there's a boss lock over there. This is great. So are people, like, farming this every day? Is this, like, your bread and butter gaming now? Oh, well, this is a dead end. Nice little platform, though. They really put a lot of energy into this with all the little assets. More energy than they were capable of doing when EOTN came out. Let's be real. When EOTN came out, they could only do a handful of floors, and they reused a bunch of them. That's too much pressure. You abstain. You didn't even realize the context of the question. Well, no, don't worry. You're not in it on your own. I'm also for sale, by the way. You can buy me, all right? All you have to do is put a donation in and a suggestion of a thing to play, which 2 people have already done. So we already have Necro, we already have Ranger. So don't worry, you're just getting added to the pile. So it's not too much pressure. You see 2 Devonnas if you see her as a character, like going to Cantha. Oh, so they didn't quite do that. They're both the same. They never put that little bit in there. Yeah, okay, fair enough. I can see how that falls through the cracks. What do you guys want most? Do you want a DLC? Bonus mission pack style? Well, no, that's a stupid question. Do you want a DLC like Eye of the North? Or do you want a new campaign? And what do you think is smarter for 2 weeks to do? Because I've got to say, guys, I think they should do a new campaign. I think that's the smartest thing for them to do. It can be a mini campaign. It can be a small scope campaign. But I think the fact that you would get to re-level and it would function as a tutorial, leveling is fun. And they can, you know, refine the scope. They can have it as solo content and stuff. I think there's a lot of unexplored stuff they could do there. And by doing a campaign, it's kind of a cute way of saying, hey, Guild Wars 1 was about campaigns. Let's do it. I don't know. I'm much more excited about that than an expansion. My assumption is they would try a bonus mission pack style thing first, and then they would try an Eye of the North style thing, and they would maybe never do a campaign. But I'm proposing kind of something new, like a small scope campaign. Eye of the North size, but with re-leveling. And okay, and I have a business argument for it as well. you can capture an entirely new audience with that. It's literally a totally new product that they can say, hey, you don't have to be a veteran for this. If they release bonus mission pack type stuff, hell, even this, frankly, these are all appeals to the existing nerds, aren't they? But think about it. Once they've got it on Steam Deck, once they've got it on the App Store and iOS, they can do a campaign. It's an actual new starting thing, and they can go with regular traditional ass adverts. And I'll tell you what, on mobile and on Steam Deck, they're not just like this old ancient game that it's like, okay, it's just been ported. They can actually say, hey, look, we're better than the competition. I mean, how spoiled for choice are people really when it comes to mobile gaming? I'm probably being a bit of a boomer at the moment, aren't I? There's probably really loads of amazing ones. Did we get the key? I don't see it on my UI, so I'm going to say no. You want to come up here, maybe? I'm just kind of killing everything. Sorry if it's frustrating to play with me, the other people in the party here. If I see people are going in another direction, I will follow them. Regrind says you should spin a wheel for the class. See, but that would require me setting it up. I mean, maybe I could. There's a way to do that, right? That's not too difficult. If I have any worth as a streamer or video maker, I should be able to do that. I saw a thing the other day of some guy was streaming and he put like 1,000 options on his stream for like end the stream, end the stream, and he put one option. It was like, I'll pay for you to go to BlizzCon or something, and he rolled the wheel and it landed on that. There were people in the comments saying that it was fake, which yeah, I can imagine people doing that just to create a bit of buzz so that people would see his channel. Apparently he does it a lot, and it very often lands on crazy rolls. There's a website that lets you make one in like 5 minutes. So what are we saying? I have to beat Melandoom and there has to be a randomizer. This is getting harder and harder by the minute. Okay, my question is, I'm happy to do that, the randomizer thing. I am happy to do it if you guys can confirm to me. Here we go. We put the lock in and it's going to open this door. Nice. That's kind of novel. That's different. Yeah, can we do it as a party? Can we do it as a group? So I'm not relying on henchman and hero AI or just henchman AI. Utopia campaign wish. Now, that's the thing. I don't think they have to call it Utopia. And I don't think they have to follow any old ideas. Be your own team. Be your own artist. Have your own fun. You know, you can get away from a lot of those old ideas. Fresh start. Why not? People will accept it. You don't have to add billions of new skills. You don't have to add 2 new professions. You don't have to go the whole way. Not for the first mini campaign. Anyway, yeah, I just think economically they might be able to get a bit more money out of it in that way. I think. If you release a DLC, you immediately just... a bunch of people won't look at it because they don't own the base game, right? The thing is, when we talk about that scope, we're suddenly talking about a lot more assets. I don't think you can sell a campaign based on reconstituting assets. That's probably not realistic. So now we're talking about them getting a budget for artists and stuff, and that, as far as I know, that's like the big no-no. I don't know. Oh my lord, disc rights, $40. 40 is a big number. Disc rights says, Necromancer is the true class of all. Also, thanks for playing with me. I think DLC like Either North is the way to go. I'd take either. Also, I want them to retroactively add new expansion class skills to previous campaigns. Parallel to prophecies. Let me read that again. Retroactively add new expansion class skills to previous campaigns. Oh, that's interesting. So you want to see new Paragon skills, like Prophecies Paragon skills, and you want to see Assassin Paragon skills and stuff like that? That's interesting. That, I have to be honest, that wouldn't be high on my list. I don't know where the value there really is. I think a skill balance is more than enough for now. It effectively creates new skills. This is a great little vibe here, isn't it? They've done the post-processing here. So there he is. There's Maz Scourgeheart. Are there going to be a bunch of pop-up ads when we attack? Maybe. He said, what timing? What perfect timing. My new army shall be inaugurated in your blood. I reckon that there's going to be some crystal things spawning here. So let's see what we got. Here we go. I don't know. The DLC thing. Oh my god, he's not very strong. He's level 12. Oh shit. I'm only just getting started, little prey. You've stumbled right into my trap. Nice. He despawns. Shard elementals appear. Oh my god. How scary is he at level 20? Yeah, down they go. We get a keystone there. Is that it? Oh, does he pop to... Oh, do I have to stand on here? No? Oh, he's moved over to that platform. Nice! This is the new... I thought this was just going to be a generic boss using... maybe not generic abilities. Maybe some weird Ellie abilities or something. He's using kinetic armor. And he's using air magic. Does he have an elite skill? So these things have... You fight in vain. Death knows not the name, Maz Scourgeheart. This is actually like scripted and stuff. Oh, bravo, bravissimo. They did a great job. Yeah, they did. They've actually gone further with it than I thought they were going to. In terms of, hey guys, we're not. Remember, we're not doing any content, and then suddenly, yeah, here's a dungeon. Have fun. Good luck with it. It's a higher standard than I thought it was going to be. I wish I knew how well funded these guys were. Okay, he's full health now over there. He didn't come in at low health. How do we get there? Oh, the gate is open again? Maybe those gates are elsewhere in the game and I've just completely forgotten where. He's got elemental achievement. He does have an elite. It's hard to know how far they should go with stuff like this, right? Because you could give players a signet of capture and there could be elites in pre. There's lots they could do. But it's also a juggling act, you know, like, it's like, do we want everything to just be for pre? Probably not, right? You want to move to stuff that affects the whole game. Here we go. Good luck, everybody. So you can get rares out of this if we were all high level. 100 gold. Assigned to me. Gold assigned to me? That's not right. Gold shouldn't be assigned to people, isn't that right? Because it gets shared. I got a tower shield. Should we identify it? Oh, shall we use the new identify all button? Where is that? Oh, it's up here. Oh, cool. It doesn't flicker or anything. That's epic. It's up there. Is there going to be a salvage all? Where's the deposit all button? That might only be an outpost. Very cool. Well, there you have it, guys. What's the dungeon called again? It's called the Forsaken Tunnels. And the story of Maz. A problem with a new campaign is that it should be able to be playable standalone, right? You think Arenanet should do that now? Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. That's exactly what I'm saying. I'm nervous that I'm in objective. I'm nervous that as a GW1 veteran, I think there's more than enough of us. I'm nervous that, you know, oh, there's thousands of us and they'll get loads of money. But the truth is, I think if we want this to go on and on, right? If we want a lot of money, if we want a new, you got to capture new audiences. You have to. Sorry, but it's just the case. I believe in the format. I believe in the genre. I believe in the style of RPG that this is. I really do. Even for, so to speak, Zoomers, new generations, I think it could go well. I think it could do something. But I think it's easier to sell someone a 2027 campaign than it is Prophecies or Factions or Nightfall. I just do. Now, once we start talking about the franchise in general... What is going on with my camera? That's very weird. Oh, God. Oh, we've crashed. No, we haven't. Yes, we have. Oh! Weird. Guild Wars client is not responding. All right. Well, yeah, I know Liss hasn't crashed because OBS hasn't, but the game is like dead, guys. I was unable to move the camera and then it just stalled out like that. Weird. They didn't want to keep remaking tutorials of Guild of Sea, right? Yeah. Okay, it was years ago. It was years and years and years ago. I'm pretty sure they'll be fresh at this point. And the other thing was, they didn't want to keep remaking tutorials as the systems kept bloating. Oh, this year we're doing this, and this year we're doing heroes, and we're going, and it was getting crazy. It was getting madness, right? There's nothing to stop them. They don't have to keep bloating, right? And there's also nothing to stop them from working on like a localized central tutorial system that all campaigns get added to or whatever. The classic mode working as intended. I'm still in the party somehow. Yeah, it's dead. Right, well, guys, I'll take that crash as a sign. I know I didn't actually cash the quest in. Join me tomorrow. Tomorrow, we will forge ahead into the Reforged. We will do the post-searing version of this. I don't know what it's like. I don't know what the quest looks like. We'll cash this in. We'll get Devonna. We will talk about the ramifications of Devonna in pre, which is mental, by the way. She can get every class as a secondary, which means that you're seeing assassin skills in pre. And you're seeing dervish shit in pre. And you're seeing spirit spamming in pre. Crazy. We'll check that out. We will sample that. Thank you to everyone who watched. And, you know, the show will go on. So part 2 tomorrow. We'll see the post-searing dungeon. And if it's not too long... that means we'll be unlocking Althea tomorrow as well. We'll be figuring out what we're doing for Manandum. And we'll be moving on to that. Thank you, everyone. You've all been so generous. I hope you enjoyed guessing the chocolate bar. I'm going to go eat some real food. So yeah, cheers guys, have a good evening. She's the Razor of Pre. Yeah, exactly, kind of. See you tomorrow. Oh yeah, and if I made any mistakes or anything about, you know, just any of these anecdotes or whatever. What, did I really eat a club bar? Ooh, I don't know. Feel free to drop some YouTube comments. I've been enjoying reading them.